Hello and welcome to the Astropub, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul. This is the Astropub. Here we do our Captain's Table podcast, where we take people from around the community, sit down and talk a little bit about Star Citizen. I want to thank send a lot of thanks to Relay to stopping or kind of diverting their stream for a couple hours, and then we'll be hosting back to Relay, and they'll come back on right after the Captain's Table.
I'm in 2 boxes.
I look a lot
you
like
guys.
Geo.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, Baron does look more handsome.
Well, try not to look
but okay.
All of the
Paul,
derps.
You horribly misspelled my name.
I did misspell your name.
I can't pull any punches for that.
No, I don't know how to spell your name.
Nekahara.
It's N-E-H. That's
Yep.
one.
So do I have a twin?
N-E-H.
2 Geos in the world. That's
I'm
beautiful.
copying his every movement. This is really difficult right now. You notice that I'm kind of miming right now to go along with his chewing.
That's you.
This is hard as hell, but you've got to learn these skills.
He's relaying what I'm doing, huh?
Mad skills.
Oh, I love it.
I'm going to get money.
Oh man. Thank you, Paul.
There we go. Now we're all set up. Sorry, professional. I'm just absolutely professional here. That's right. Now,
Fucking noob.
let's go around the table. We'll start with Jake. Jake, how are you? Who are you? What can you tell us what you are about Star Citizen?
So we started Relay today, and
Jake can't be with us right now. He was supposed to be here, but then his computer decided that it was a derp time in Derp Central. So, Bad News Baron, who are you? What do you do? What do you do with Star Citizen? All sorts of things.
Just said who I was.
I mean, like, where can they find you? Like, what do you do when are you a pizza maker who does Star Citizen pizzas? Or
I'm here though. I'm right here.
Baron
Hi, I'm Bad News Baron. I'm a a full-time Twitch broadcaster who does Star Citizen, like 90% Star Citizen, the rest is space and sci-fi when Star Citizen doesn't update for like 10 months. You can find me at twitch.tv/badnewsbaron and on Twitter at @thebadnewsbaron.
Go follow him. You haven't. Thank you, Baron. And then we've got the ever pugalicious man himself, Clifford.
Can have my bug.
Clifford, a.k.a. Miku. Clifford, who are you? Where can they find you?
Well, you used to could find me on Twitch, but I have once again moved to Beam. I started. Hey, shut up. Quiet, you. I moved over there to Beam because I didn't see any presence really for Star Citizen, and it being a new platform, I was really interested in it. I like the UI, I like the people I've met over there. So Twerk and WTF Source really supported me in doing the move, but I'm still a part of, Redacted and stuff. I still promote, the organization over there and the webpage for Redacted and all that good stuff. But I want to, kind of break out my shell, go somewhere new, fresh, and see if I can bring new eyes to Star Citizen. So that's what I've been doing is whenever we have something new or during the week, I usually about maybe twice a week and try and do some more Star Citizen, show people, and then do, like everybody else, a lot of sci-fi content, and then almost like Geek Domo, do a little bit of everything other than that, survival games, stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, me and you got to get together and do Life is Feudal when we get a chance to.
Yeah, MMO's coming up very fast for the beta.
So excited.
Life,
All right.
life is not feudal, okay? You have a lot to live for.
Oh. All right. Then we've got a new face, a virgin to the table, who's getting his cherry popped right now.
Nahakara.
Nahakara. The one thing that you got to understand is that the first time you come on the table, unless I've known you for like years, I'm probably going to misspell your name. I misspelled Mitachi's name, and I keep mispronouncing his name all the time. So, it's probably mispronounced itself. So, just it's part of being here. Nakara,
Fair enough.
who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do in Star Citizen, all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm Nakara. That's my name down there. But I've been basically making websites about Star Citizen news for the last 2 years. Before that, I did Star Citizen news in the subreddit. Tried to help out people, and generally get people interested in the game. I also teach them about the game because it's a little complex at times. But for the past little while, mostly what I've been doing is writing articles about Star Citizen on our last site, and now on our brand new relay.sc. We're really happy to be up and running. I had to do a pun because no one else is here, so there you go. No, we're really happy to finally get up and going. We've been working really, really hard for the last few weeks to get things ready, and hope everyone likes it. And we're gonna keep trying to make it better.
Excellent. And again, we'll be hosting the Relay channel back again when the table is over, so we can continue on with the kind of stuff. And then we have the lovely, curvaceous, sexy Geo Get Money with his mini-me. Who are you, Geo?
So today is a special giveaway day. We're giving away a Geo Junior LTI. The only thing is you got to clean a lot of poop. So for Relay, you guys, exclamation Geo Junior giveaway. And you guys get this. But yeah, thank you guys for inviting us to your your Relay special showing. But yeah, I play Star Citizen, and I may start streaming. I'm supposed to start streaming, get some help from some guys in Chicago this weekend. So yes, that will be coming soon. TM.
Nice. Alrighty, so for those of you guys who are new to the Captain's Table, we just talk about Star Citizen. It's a place where I try to bring the community together to talk about the game, the future, the past, the present, doesn't matter. We're just going to kind of talk about what we talk. And that's the first half of the show. The second half of the show, we take questions from the audience. And I'll make my disclaimers there when we get to that point. But for right now, I want to bring up the first thing, which is that asteroid tech.
Them rocks, man.
That asteroid tech. Like, seriously. Like, I mean, I remember the deadliness that was slowly spinning asteroids in Elite Dangerous, and like oh, I'm fine. I'm not going to hit that asteroid. Oh, look, it's turning my direction, and then slamming straight into it. So I can't wait to find rocks in space again with Star Citizen.
Come a long way since Wing Commander 1 and 2D asteroids that you had no idea how to avoid.
You just hoped you didn't slam right into them.
Or frustrating experience when I did my Wing Commander playthrough.
Especially when you're trying to dogfight in those. When I was
I don't know how big it is.
Where is it?
I just love the idea about using the tech to create the rings around planets and stuff. That's gonna be really cool to see.
It's I think it's one of the experiences they had to have. Seeing the rings around the planet and then being able to fly into them and through them. It's one of those things. They're creating this hugely detailed space opera experience. If they didn't have that, well, the whole thing's not even worth it.
Right. Because otherwise, you'd have to instance it. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a lot like their tech that they debuted when they were trying to create tools for them for the planet side, being able to spread trees, rocks, and I guess they, expanded it to space, how to place asteroids, and there's no telling where they can go with it, like placing, like they said, it's just indicating different nodes they can place multiples of so people can mine, and it'll add diversity to the universe, I think.
Yeah, I didn't know they were doing them one by one. That's what I'm so glad. Like how long that would take to fill out the universe with asteroids.
Doing them one at a time. Yeah,
we're just hand placing them. Yeah, I'm excited to see. Like the one thing that like always got me with asteroids in Elite Dangerous was you go to say like a ring around a planet, and as you get closer and closer, you start seeing it like disperse just a little bit more, and then you jump out of like cruise into say like a resource extraction site, and suddenly that ring looks like asteroids. I'm right. Excited to see that like that distance situation with Star Citizen, like where the further you're away from Yella, you see it looks more like just one single line, and then as you get closer, the details pop out without having to like do the transition between cruise and regular. that sounds like, I don't know, just beautiful. that concept. And also, did they say something about like how it's gonna rotate like around the planet and like stay within its own little ring instead of like flying off into space if it hits something? I wanted to say they said something about like how asteroids will path so they don't like disappear out of their ring formations in ATV. Might have been wrong.
Well, if that's the case, there has to be an Armageddon going in-game event that just takes out a whole planet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No.
That'd be a missed
like a
opportunity.
movie. We've got to go up there and we've got to nuke this asteroid.
Yeah, the community have to work together to save the planet, or boom, it's over with.
No, yeah. No, we also need a an Aerosmith to score the whole thing so we can have it.
Are those guys still alive?
One thing I want to see.
All the drugs, man. The drugs are keeping them preserved.
I know asteroids look good and all, but one thing I want to see in a space game that I haven't seen before is an actual, like, if they could actually do a comet flying through space.
Yeah,
that you could actually follow a comet.
That'd be cool. Like comet mining would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the aliens that follow in their wake so that we can kill us at the same time and go out and beat them.
Tony Zervak has talked a bunch about
Cult of the Traveler.
about actually using comets as like research things for research ships in Star Citizen. So I definitely think they're doing the comet thing. The nice thing about comets too is they can be transitory objects. Like they can come in and out of a system, and they don't always have to be there, because that's how it works in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can have them just appear, and it's not like ridiculous that they just appeared.
Yeah, no, and to a degree, you can also like hide like lots of like little quests inside those asteroids. As joking as Baron said, that, like maybe there's an alien spaceship that's crashed inside the thing. You want to go do research for it. Some sort of unknown alien species, or like the species that disappeared. The spacefaring species that disappeared, that gets destroyed.
Or go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, or the Star Trek: The Next Generation episode when the Federation are testing that cloaking device and their ship like rematerializes inside an asteroid. Whoops. That'd be an interesting thing to find, just like a bangle encased in an asteroid.
Like Philadelphia experiment style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I liked about Elite is you could, if you wanted to, you could fly out for like 40 minutes out of the solar system to a random point in space where, when it was random, it was like the calculated position of wherever the Voyager probe would be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if it was one or two, but one of the Voyager probes is way out there. So you can go fly out there and you can find Voyager 1 and go see it, and you can hear the little signals coming off of it, and that was really cool. Which sort of brings me to a wider thing of, if we've got hundreds and hundreds of years of history within Star Citizen, it would be neat to see old tech. Like, it would be cool if there's a lot of junk out in space already from all of our spacefaring nonsense, because we're lazy slobs. People are disgusting. You got to figure a few hundred years from now, there's going to be like a whole future of stuff. They've talked about, I think one of the original colony ships like disappeared. I don't know if it ever came up in the lore, but it would be neat to be able to find some of these older ships from like the distant past of space.
Like the original fighters or capital ships, derelicts from like the first Tavaran War or something like that.
Yeah.
RSI is really interesting that way, because RSI is actually like 1,000 years old in the game.
Like the Zeus. Like you could find a Zeus somewhere. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Exactly. I've always thought, ever since I saw that ship, I mean, the whole deal with it was that it was the first like consumer spaceship, right? That you could buy.
Yep.
So there's got to be some floating around there somewhere. I know they're 900 years old, but there got to be a few.
And you got to figure that within the Star Citizen lore, that there's at least a couple people out there who are collectors who have restored them and still use them.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you would think there would be also some cool colonist ships that you could probably find on planets where they first set forth away from original homeworld.
Yeah. I mean, it's a matter of if they're actually going to do any of this stuff, but there's so much potential there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is too, because this stuff doesn't have to be. It's not the 1990s anymore. It doesn't have to be done at release. They have a decade, 2 decades to build all this stuff into the game.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if every single bit of lore we've had about, like, old ships and stuff like that doesn't eventually end up in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, that's just one
I
of those
agree.
things. Oh, and we actually, we have Jake back. Jake is actually here.
Hi.
Yay.
Hello.
Hey.
Oh,
Did your computer decide to work?
God. Yes.
I think Lando did it.
I'm
Lando
pretty
sent a
sure
virus.
Lando did it.
It's
Uh,
that
definitely
ARG
did.
virus you guys were sending out.
So-
that ARG virus.
I tried literally everything, and then I reinstalled my graphics drivers, and that
Oh,
helped.
I'm Baron now.
Are you Baron now?
Yep.
What are you
Mm.
doing?
Now I look uglier.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow. that's just that's
Wow.
not even like clever. That was just mean.
Oh.
That was mean.
good at burn.
I mean, that I would expect that sort of like low comment from like INN, who's a hack organization. But you, Geo, come on. Maybe from
Sorry,
Jake.
I'm sorry, Baron. We're including you on that. That's a drink.
Goddamn drink. That was inappropriate.
Oh!
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Ooh.
Come on,
Ooh.
Gio, you're supposed to be the bat against trolls, not be a troll yourself.
All right. So
to beat the
anybody
troll, you
who's
gotta beat the troll.
while XSplit decides to figure out its thing, I'm going to be slowly rebuilding my presentation from scratch because that also decided to just kick the bucket.
Yay!
If you're hanging out in relay chat, great. I'm going to leave the host up for Paul here while I do that. So so everyone go follow Paul because he's beautiful. He smells nice. He dresses nicely. He smells like lavender and whiskey
And apples.
put together. Yeah.
My helmet smells like beer and bad decisions though, and I don't know why everyone wanted to kept putting it. Like when I went to CitizenCon, everyone wanted to put it on. Everyone's like, "Can I put the helmet on?" I'm like, "Dude, you don't want to put the helmet on." I have spent years in that helmet at this point, and it is rank.
I got to touch it.
So
Touch the glorious
again,
helmet.
I'm sorry, everyone.
You failed us, Jake. You failed me
was-
for the last time.
It was good timing because it was at the end of a segment, but I couldn't fix it fast enough.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, so we're talking about asteroids and
Right, okay.
and also like procedurally generated or like the adding more of the lore into the game.
Hey, Jake,
Yeah.
what's your favorite planet?
Uranus.
Ever?
Yeah, what's your favorite planet?
Oh, it's Harry Carey.
Am I supposed to say Uranus?
Oh.
Oh God.
Yep.
No.
I'm over it. I'm over it. Let's move on.
My
Say,
my actual favorite planet is Microtech.
I too am a Microtech fan. That is one of those things.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I that's the one I'm really excited for 3.0.
It was funny because I was talking to Proxys at CitizenCon, and he was talking about how like I don't remember what the conversation was, but he insinuated that nobody would ever want to go to Microtech, and I'm like, are you kidding
Everyone
me?
wants to go to Microtech.
I want to live in Hoth. This sounds like an amazing idea. Can we find a space yeti? I mean, come on.
It is more Novaria than it is Hoth, but
It is, but it's the same concept. Giant ice planet.
Yes.
You know.
Hazilo.
way more developed than
Then Hoth, yeah. then can I find secret, alien, long dead alien pests that I can
Ice
save?
block.
You know.
I don't know. I'm still Terra Prime fan. I still love Terra Prime. I still love Terra Tower. I want to go to that place, and I'm hoping that as a joke that they actually put a bungee jumper at the top of that thing that you can hook up in.
That would
That'd
be
be a nice
awesome.
attraction.
An event in
a
the
base
universe
jumper?
where someone trying to climb Terra Tower from the bottom. All the footage.
That'd be great.
Anyways, moving on. The lot of the stuff they showed off in Around the Verse were detailed also with like that music and of course the new sound systems and such. And I'd like to slip into there that the fact that they showed off the new Gladius HUD. Jesus Christ, that new Gladius HUD. Give it to me. Give it to me. It looks so sexy.
Okay, I gotta take a second here. Gio, I saw that.
What did he?
I
Anyway,
couldn't resist. I'm sorry.
sorry,
My son
Paul. Go
put it in
ahead.
front of me. Okay, I'm sorry.
Paul, you are the one who invited Gio to come on the stream.
I always invite Gio to come onto the stream.
This is your fault.
All the faults.
Yeah, no, I know. It's not an interesting cast unless I can get someone like Baron or Gio or Richard or someone who just I mean, Jake, you're always welcome, but you're welcome for different reasons.
Get wrecked.
Unpredictable.
He just wants my bod. He just wants my bod.
That's just how it works, That's what you're here for. Your eye candy. Your eye candy for the viewers. It's without you, we never get to.
That's a very spicy chimichanga.
Oh. But like I'm actually really impressed about the music, the dynamic music system. I'm also slightly terrified because I'm expecting to be in a derelict ship and hearing creepy music, and as it increases, is being like, where the hell is this xenomorph? It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out of the walls and eat me. Like.
And the best thing they can possibly do with that is to have some situations where that happens, and have other situations where the music does the same thing and nothing happens.
Just fucks with you, Xylo. Please make it happen. You're an expert level troll. Do it.
The music builds and builds and builds, and there's nothing there. It just drives you crazy.
Just a Benny's machine.
It's just a Benny's machine. The best part is if it did that with your own party members walking around the corner or something like that. So like you walk around the corner and you see someone and you're just like freaking out and shooting. It's like, it's me. You can see me on the HUD. What are you doing?
My ultimate dream mission for Star Citizen would be a Five Nights at Freddy's sort of scenario where you're locked in one room in a spaceship that's been abandoned, and there's one vending machine that keeps moving.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Benny's getting closer and closer.
Benny gonna touch you.
Oh man, that actually does sound fun. I mean, like, and to be fair, there's so much stuff in Star Citizen that I've said this before, but like pretty much every sci-fi or game idea that's out there is probably going to end up in there. Like, I'm pretty sure we're going to get space zombies. I'm sure we'll get xenomorphs. I'm sure we'll get some sort of, like we joked about the like Bengal carrier half buried in an asteroid, but that would probably be a pretty interesting mission. They'll have like, oh yeah, you're gonna go recover this half destroyed, buried into an asteroid, Bengal carrier, a la like the Philadelphia experiment or something like that.
Well, we already got the typical space worm, so that's start right
Driving
there.
the Bengal carrier into asteroids.
Me,
Richard,
The Carnival Cruise Lines.
Well, no, the real answer here, guys, you understand. The real answer is Chris Roberts.
Oh, that would make more sense.
oh, geez, that would be funny
that
to
is
find his
true.
character on the ship that crashes.
Because of the fidelity.
Me and Dolvac are going to ram Idrises into each other the second they're flyable.
Oh
just
no,
wanna
I
know
mean,
what-
like
we just want to see it.
there are so many people who are going to like try to fly Idrises and Bengals and every large ship they find into the sun.
Yep.
So like into things. It's going to be like the first 20 minutes of Star Citizen launching is going to be nothing but explosions and swearing. That's pretty much what's going to happen.
The thing that's great. I just don't want to hear the guy on the forums like pissing and moaning because it's like, yeah, it takes 3 weeks to get your Idris back because that's how long it takes.
Yeah.
That's why you need multiple. That's the end game.
Yeah, that's the end game. Multiple Idri. Yeah.
Oh well.
And people wonder why I have 5 of them because I won't be able to control them worth of crap.
Good googly
He wants to
moogly.
crash them. That's what I'm talking about.
I know. And people are like, I was just trying to form Voltron, guys. I'm sorry.
You get 2 more. Have 1 for every day of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Now going forward, talking a little bit about what they actually showed off last week. What of your guys' kind of first impressions of what we've seen from 2.6? What they've shown off, like the new animations, the audio, the Even like the little previews that like Sandy's been. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think the game is literally unplayable without those animations that Sandy was showing off on Twitter. The barstool animations, literally unplayable without being able to sit on a barstool. Okay, game breaking.
Absolutely.
So as I was saying earlier on the other stream that died, I am one of the very few people on this earth that's played a former iteration of Star Marine.
Well, Baron, you were there too, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can tell you right now, it looks so much better.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
It was rough, but yeah, that's where me and Baron met for the first time.
It's called progress.
I remember that actually.
Aw. I was
Watching
on his
it.
stream for like a second. I yelled at a camera for 30 seconds.
I remember Baron being his own audio guy, video guy, and
Yeah.
managing a stream at the
This
same
whole
time.
like
Jeez.
Them
setup.
skills.
Man, I tried that. I tried to upgrade the setup for CitizenCon, and it ended up backfiring on me because it all kind of broke down. So gonna have to do some major testing for next one.
I remember your camera setup was
at least-
pissing you off.
At least for CitizenCon, you had noobs able to like and HP to be able to like walk around and be your crew. Like with I remember you said your arms were dying because you were holding up a camera for like an hour waiting for them to start.
Oh yeah, that was that PAX East where
That's
they did
PAX East.
broadcast it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just with my cell phone and I was streaming it. And that was actually the most viewers I think I've ever had on my channel because we got over 3,000 on that cast from people who wanted to watch that live because Star
Holy
Citizen
shit.
wasn't. Well, Star Citizen wasn't doing the broadcast on their own, so there was no official broadcast except for what I was doing. But yeah, it went longer than expected, and there was a delay, and I lost feeling in my left big toe for almost a year, and it's still the nerves are a little weird. I don't know what happened. I think it was the boots I was wearing.
There.
I don't know. I got a numb toe, so I took one for the team there.
All right.
Yeah, I
Damn
hear it.
those.
It was like the original town hall that we had there in
Oh, yeah.
Black South when they did that originally, and we potato canned that one because it was after the fact. So yeah, we feel you on the feels, man.
You know, when things settle down a bit, I would love to see them revisit the town halls because
Yeah, they were fantastic. I mean, like
that was that event. That town hall was like basically the best Star Citizen event to date. Like it was the best thing they'd ever done at that point.
I think it was way more relaxed was the reason
Yeah.
why is they didn't care about doing big production. They had a slideshow. They were kind of sitting down the whole time. There was no big to do about it. So
it felt more natural, and it was really good to hear Tony Z and Chris on the same stage talking about the PU because they were talking, and you could see them. They had these conversations before. We just never heard them, and it felt much more like two people talking rather than giving a presentation to an entire, the world. And as Lando made me sad because we don't have any more casual RTVs. That was, that's one of those things that's nice, especially like going back to like if you ever watch like GDC conferences. It's very similar to that where people are just talking. It's not like we're here to hype you and build up this game. It's like this is what we're doing, and this is what we did. Enjoy it, more technical, less flashy, but
yeah.
What he said.
what little Gio just said.
Yep.
Well, little Jill said, yeah, I don't know what he's talking about, but
That's actually that's just Gio. He's making those.
He's just making those noises.
I see.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because there's still a whole bunch of stuff about the PU where the most recent information we have about that thing is from the town hall.
Yeah.
You know,
Have we seen
Like-
the warp animation since then?
well, I mean,
no, not since Criminal showed it off when he was the first one that actually did the wormhole jump. Showed us.
you mean the jump point, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
when the Anvil bomber was going in there flying through it.
That's the only visualization we've ever had of jump points.
Yeah.
And the other one we thought was actually a visualization of jump points. It actually turned out it was a quantum drive because that's what they ended up turning in. That's exactly what the quantum drive looks like if you look at it from a third perspective. Is the whole like warp forward then gone. So
Yep. Or the ship like stretches out. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's why I like hearing Tony Z talk because like this week that town hall, I was so excited to hear all Tony Z questions and stuff that I've been wanting to know about, like
You know?
the melee stuff. Yeah,
You
Tony,
know?
you know,
You know?
that's the name.
But
But
I'm sorry, Canadian syrup. You deserve that. You deserve all those knows because you're
all of it.
because you bleed for your craft and you need to have that those badges. Like I can transcribe Tony Z. That's an accomplishment in this community.
Okay, I gotta tell you guys a story about that actually. So I transcribed probably the biggest transcript project for the longest time was something that I did myself, and I transcribed the holiday live stream for 2014 by myself. This is before the other website existed, so this is before everything. And just people, no one was going to do it, so I did it. It took me a week.
You don't have to hate yourself that way, okay? A lot of us really respect you.
And,
It was
took
before
me-
the end times.
it took me a week, and because the live stream is 4.5 hours long, I transcribed the whole thing. And the funny thing was, like 3.5 hours of it took like a day, and the entire rest of that time was the half hour where Tony Zervek was talking.
Yeah,
it was just like every second he was talking, there's like 100 words.
Yeah.
It's insane. It took me days to do that one like half-hour section.
Well, and what's so funny, the original town hall that Tony Z did, remember how short his hair was? And now look at him. I didn't. Yeah, when I was at the studios in LA, I almost didn't recognize him until when I thought, I was, oh, hey, Tony. He's like, oh, hey, Clifford. Because he was trying to catch his flight. I was like, man, he grew out his hair long since then.
It's got to be some sort of bet. It's got to be something there.
It also may be a ritual, like I know that some people do this, like I'm not going to cut my hair, or I'm not going to shave until I get this part done, and then so that you can see like progression of how long it's taken before them to do something, and then they cut it off or something like that. So,
Wonder if it's like subsumption. He's like, I'm not going to do it until subsumption is done.
oh God, please, man, cut your hair before that. You're going to have to like braid that and then like full on like turban, like or like a top knot or something like that at some point.
That's a peak turban, bro.
What is Geo doing?
Oh, this kid was playing with his.
Troll.
Like father, like son, though, Gio. That's how it works.
Jesus.
Like
Picking up
father,
all your
like
bad
son, man.
habits.
I think he got a little smart in him or something. I don't know what's going on over here. Damn, man.
So we are doing a giveaway right now in honor of the launch of Relay.sc. It's a Drake Dragonfly because I like me some space bikes.
Awesome.
So if you want to win that, get in on it. So we're moving up towards the question and answer session. Was there anything else anyone wanted to talk about?
I proposed a new idea for 10 for the chairman.
What's that?
And okay, so my idea was for each 10 for the chairman, it won't be only Chris no more. It'll be each studio head since there's 4 of them now. So each studio they switch to, it would be that studio head 10 questions for him, and they would ask him because I want to see more Tony Z, to be honest, and some of the stuff that
that'd be a
the
great
German office is doing too.
Yeah, that'd be a great way of like doing like a roundabout. So you'd have like, when you have Austin for doing Roundiverse, you'd have like Frankfurt doing the discussion, so it splits it up, so you don't have to put all that kind of stuff either. That'd be great.
Yeah, I put in the forum. Surprisingly, it's like split. Like some people said, no, that's a bad idea, and the other half says good. But it's like
it's essentially what they're
yes.
doing with the roundtables, though, with their town halls for to a degree, so to bring on developers and talking, from different studios.
I mean, yeah, but Tony Z, what was the last one was like one with sound, and not too many people cared about that. And then Tony Z came on, and that was a real good town hall. I would like.
Some of us care about our sound in our games, Gio. God,
hey, I like sound too, but that was a store best. I was like, oh gosh. Well, Tony Z's one got me hyped up. I'm like, yes. He's answered all the questions I've been asking.
That Tony
Honestly,
Z, though.
Tony Z can always get people hyped. He knows all the all the stuff about the game. He knows all the game mechanics because he's building them.
yeah.
He knows because he is,
Well, because he came out of retirement to build this game, so.
Yep.
I mean,
Yes, the
kinda,
man who said he would never work for someone ever again, like 2
but,
years
I
ago.
mean, Chris Roberts is like, hey, Here's a blank canvas. Make everything you've ever wanted to put into a video game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to a degree, from what we've seen from his interactions with Chris, he really isn't working for Chris. He and Chris are like partners.
They're working together.
Yeah,
Mhm.
in this, because there are ways that there are things that Tony knows how to do that Chris has no idea how to do, like subsumption, for example.
Well, it goes back to kind of like what Lando has always told me repeatedly and told others, is that they're not afraid of the new idea or the next idea. So it seems like they really feed off each other's ideas and stuff and really grow. And they're not, I don't think anybody's really scared not to ask Tony or something, hey, I got this great idea. We might make this work better. Or even, can we add this to it and spur a conversation? So I think that's what I think ultimately, and I think it'll get better over time when they kind of slow down the hiring and pretty much they are full gills to as many people as they need, that the employees themselves get more used to saying, hey, I can approach, Chris Roberts and ask him a question about this, or give him an idea of this programming that I'm doing, or vice versa. Because sometimes, when you go to a new job, kind of like my job, when, the CEO walks in, he's worth a couple $1 billion. A lot of people don't feel to walk up to him because, he's above my head. Me, I just walk through the crowd and be like, hey, what's up? Hey, Mr. I ain't going to say his name, but, and you find out that they're just really down to earth. And it's kind of like, you got to kind of let them be more open to them. And I think that's the kind of atmosphere Cloud Imperium Games is.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, oh wow, my brain just went blank. Jake, save me.
What? I wasn't paying attention at all.
Oh, good. No, I was just gonna say that Tony's in an interesting position because he's exactly what you said. He gets this blank canvas and he's just like, here, go do this. You can build a universe, an economy, all the game mechanics. You go design them. And the neat thing with CIG is that they, unlike almost every other game developer right now, all the big ones are terrified of new ideas, because they're terrified it won't work. CIG is like feeding on them. Every new idea they get, they seem thrilled and they chase it down.
Is it the developers or the publishers holding them back?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm not sure if it's people afraid to lose their job or if it's the publishers telling them they're not allowed to do it.
Oh, it's definitely the publishers, I think.
Probably a combination of the two. To a degree, we were dealing with developers. You have different types of people who run any kind of company. Anyone who's worked for multiple companies knows that there are different personalities at place and different people. So some companies are very, you do this, you do it the first time right, or you do this and I don't want any input from you. This is what you're doing. And some companies are very, you got an idea, let's float it, let's try it. Then sometimes those companies mix with publishers, and those publishers are like, no, you're not trying it because you're getting this out at this time because we want our money back. So
they operate like a movie studio, pretty much.
Yeah.
Whereas the game developer would be maybe the director and cast, production team. The studio is saying, all right, here's your time frame, here's your budget, and you're not going to do anything that's going to lose us money or could potentially lose us money. So let's not push out any new franchises. Let's just rehash the same old. There was an old sequel from 1995. Let's just remake that one again.
But a good example of this is in video games is them bringing back like they just announced that they're going to do Last of Us Part 2. Like they release a new IP.
They?
Yeah.
What?
Yes. Well, sorry, didn't mean to spoil it for you. So it's
excited.
It's exciting, but at the same time, it's like
No, it's not.
Naughty Dog. They're developers, right? If I'm correct, it's Naughty Dog who does it.
I don't know, but sometimes they do good because just like bringing back Lara Croft and the Tomb Raider, that series has been phenomenal since they brought that thing back and did a retake on it.
Yeah, but the problem is that at a certain point, it's like we have seen Last of Us, or we've seen, actually a better example is in the movies, at least, is The Mummy. They're bringing back The Mummy. The Mummy was released in 2001. It's not even been in a lifetime before people remember. you know,
How do you remake? I mean, how do
with
you-
Tom
what?
Cruise, by the way.
Well, it was like them
What?
remaking the Spider-Man. Like
Cruise?
they did the Spider-Man not too long ago, and they're going to redo it again, like
Yeah,
for the third time.
The third time.
Yeah.
Wait. So, the Mummy is being remade,
They've already released a trailer. It's coming out next year.
and Tom Cruise is starring in this thing.
He's the director, producer, and he's one of the actors. Yeah,
They're remaking Scarface again, so this is a remake of a remake.
500 followers.
Wait,
Congratulations
wait.
on Twitter.
Thanks,
so,
guys.
Oh, thank you very much. So this is going to be I just looked it up. The Mummy starring Tom Cruise and Russell Crowe.
What?
Yeah,
What the hell is
it's a
that?
serious take on the Mummy.
Okay.
Why?
Why did we need a serious take on the Mummy? Was this something we required?
The Mummy
Wow.
is one of the best old adventure movies
Exactly.
I think of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I would put the Mummy up with Indiana Jones. I really like
I
that.
love
that
I
series.
love the Mummy.
It's,
Well, the first one.
It's
Anyway.
well, first,
Yeah,
the
first
second
one.
one was pretty good, but like the rest of the ones were kind of weird. But
Scorpion King.
yeah.
No, we're not going to go there.
Yeah.
God.
Well, I mean the
Ever.
the concept of the Mummy is fantastic, and it's essentially the same concept that spawned Indiana Jones. And wrapping this back into Star Citizen, Star Citizen is a good example of trying a new IP, but also not actually trying a new IP, because all that Star Citizen is doing is hashing. It builds on the nostalgia, on those member berries of Wing Commander and Freelancer. In fact, that was what it was essentially was. Squadron 42 is a remake of
Like
Wing
Warcraft.
Commander, and Star Citizen is a remake of Freelancer. That's all it is. But I mean, it's more complicated now. But that's what it was pitched, and that's the way everyone kind of saw it as. But yeah,
I mean,
It's like-
this is even to the point where there was early on in this project in 2012 and early 2013, there were rumors that Chris Roberts is trying to acquire the IP for Wing Commander so that he could just make Wing Commander. You know, that's how close it is. I mean, the lore has deviated a lot since then, but early on, that was the idea.
Well, I mean, World of Warcraft kind of does the same thing, and it's to the benefit of the game, really. Where it's like you look at World of Warcraft, it's the strange love child of EverQuest, Lord of the Rings, and Warhammer, and like all of those things are very obviously a part of that game, but together made something really special. Whereas like Star Citizen is kind of it's a lot of things all kind of rolled into one. You've got like things like Elite, you got things like Wing Commander, you've got
you got
like-
the original like the Star Wars or the X-wing versus TIE Fighter kind of
like
experiences.
it has a lot of stuff like all kind of rolled into one game, and like even Crisis is in this game because it's running on CryEngine and it's going to be a first-person shooter. So like you have all of those things that kind of all swirl into one beautiful ball of video game.
And
But
if Tony's design on the Starliner was anything to go
Ultimate
by, I think
as well.
I think you're gonna. If Tony's design on the Starliner is anything to go by, you're also going to see some of like the tycoon type of gameplay rolled into the business sides of Star Citizen, which you know there.
I
They have
want
a lot-
I
this
want the
thing's gonna
same
be
line
insane.
graphs. I want the line graphs that Planet Coaster gave me to manage my people, but in Star Citizen.
Absolutely.
I mean, with all respect to the writers of the narrative department of Star Citizen, I don't think the appeal of Star Citizen is the lore or the universe necessarily. It's the technology and the mechanics that are going to allow us to actually exist in a fully realized sci-fi environment. We can have so many options available to us.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be it could be any other random alien species out there, or generic evil bad guy
Well, and
plot. We're just excited to be in ships and go around these environments.
Yeah, and
but
I
I think
farm.
if you do give but even more credit to them, I think, because it's instead of giving us a painting, they're giving us a coloring book. So like they give us the lines and the structure there, and then we make it our own and fill it with life and color. And I think like even more credit to them, because instead of being like, no, you're going on your thrill ride amusement park MMO like World of Warcraft, it's this story and this story alone. whereas they're kind of creating this big open world to use those mechanics.
Well,
that's gonna be Squadron.
The whole time it's been
It's
Squadron.
a totally different game.
Squadron.
Yeah.
Star Citizen they've always been like, we want the players to drive the story. We want the players to drive the story to the point where they're actually talking about holding elections, and the elections will have an impact on what happens in the universe, and then also the economy system will cause planets to become richer or poorer, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
it's all driven by the players.
Yeah, people need to be glad that there isn't a group of shareholders that are, because I'm sorry, Squadron 42 would have came out this year if they had their way. They would have said, nip all this, get it out now, we can patch it later. And luckily he knows that Chris is like, instead of having the shareholders here, we adhere to the backers, and the backers want us to do a good job. They want us to do a complete game, not this busted up stuff that they've been getting off of Steam that will endlessly be repatched until it finally comes out. I mean, No Man's Sky is a good example. Me wearing the shirt. I still believe, and I still firmly believe this day, that Sony pushed them out.
Oh, no doubt.
So get it out now, and this is the result. What happens? It destroyed its amassed, fame that it had gotten. It destroyed it totally.
Yeah, well, look at Battlefield 1. They got pushed out quick. I mean, they just dropped an update last week. It was like 2 gigs, and it's still the same problems I had with launch. I mean, you get revived, you can't shoot the gun, or the shotgun is too overpowered, it hasn't been nerfed. I mean, all these problems, and this game's been out for almost 2 months. I mean, these games just rush to push anything out to get the, the Christmas fourth quarter quota in, to please the stockholders, like you said, Clippy, and that's no more with this.
No, that's we always are upset when they miss dates and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, what we are doing with the whole crowdfunding deal is giving CIG the option to wait.
Mm-hmm.
And that's honestly, the community as a whole might piss and moan whenever there's a delay, but when you actually ask them, do you want it done well or do you want it now? They'll go, nope, do it right.
Yeah, it's either damned if you do it, damned if you don't. Like, people got to realize, what do you want? Do you want rushed bullshit, or do you want them to take their time and get it right? And I'm always on to take your time and get it right, because if something pisses me off, I don't even want to go back to it at a certain point.
The only thing that I would say is take your time and get it right, but tell us that. And they're doing better the job of that. They're doing a much better job of that.
The schedule is amazing. I mean,
and if
that
they do
needs to be permanent, because I think they said they're only doing it for 2.6 for right now. No, that needs to be a permanent, transparent thing so everyone can see.
We have information.
Ben confirmed today they are absolutely doing it for 3.0.
Good. I mean,
what about other patches after that, though?
Well, it all depends on feedback.
Well, if they do this right the first time, they're saving them so much headache later.
Mm-hmm. And they're also saving their own reviews, because if Star Citizen comes out like Elite, like say what you want about Elite Dangerous. I like Elite Dangerous. It had an amazing launch. Launch was smooth as butter because they spent a lot of time in beta and a lot of time in alpha working out a lot of the kinks. So when it launched, it launched fairly well. It launched. I think, did it launch directly to Steam, or did it come? I think it came later.
It did not launch.
It came later to Steam.
Yeah. So they did a good job of saying, hey, we're going to sit down, we're going to work on this and get it right. And everyone knows that you make mistakes, even if you polish and bug fix everything to the moon, you're going to have bugs in there that you didn't find or you couldn't take the time to kind of work out and everything. So. They did a good job of doing that, and I think that's what we'll see in Star Citizen, is that people like us are going to be the reason why when Star Citizen launches, it's going to be really smooth launch, and people are going to be blown away, because people who have been on the fence or had no idea this game existed. Yes, there are people who do not know this game exists.
Lots of them. Lots of them.
But there's this myth in the community that everyone knows about Star Citizen. If you're a PC gamer, you know about Star Citizen. There's only maybe 1.6 million of us, and that's actually probably less, because they count, that number actually counts multiple accounts. So if you have two accounts, it counts two people.
At all.
Outside of this community, you meet people, they don't really know what Star Citizen is. It's very, very frequent where I meet lots of people, through going to different PAX's events, working with Twitch on the Twitch booth, doing meet and greets. They say, hi, who are you? What do you play? I play Star Citizen. What is Star Citizen? I've never heard of Star Citizen. or if they've heard about it, it's like, is that out?
Yeah. It's usually like some sort of like half like what's going on with that game, or I heard that game's having trouble, but it's like the one thing they heard on like the 4 months ago, or like on a Kotaku article, and they haven't cared since then.
I can't even tell you how many times I've heard people go, Star Citizen, isn't that a scam?
Well, when I was being on Beam, it was hilarious. Last night I was up doing some work in After Effects, and so I was sitting there rendering, watching one of the new partner streamers on Beam. And I started talking to him. He goes, Clifford, you do Star Citizen. We started talking about Star Citizen. And I found out 2 or 3 people in there had Star Citizen. He's like, what's this all about and stuff? So I ended up getting this new partner streamer, an account set up, and got him 2 ships and going on it. He's like, wow, I didn't even know. I mean, I heard of Star Citizen, but I didn't know exactly what it was. This looks amazing. And he's seeing what we've been playing for a long time. He's just seeing what's there now, and he's played in it now. And he said, I love this game. I don't care if it has these little quirks in it. I love it. This is great. So you get those people who play it for the first time, which we've been playing it broken for so long. But then when you get fresh eyes on it, they're still blown away to this day like we were originally.
Remember way back when I made this comparison earlier today too, but remember when Minecraft first hit alpha, and not a ton of people really knew about it. Not a lot of people were playing it, and because it had literally zero marketing, there was no advertisements, it wasn't on Steam, it wasn't in stores, it wasn't anywhere, but on Minecraft.net, where you could buy it and play it, even back when it was just a browser game. Just the community was really like tight, and everyone was super hyped about Minecraft. But if you go immediately outside of that community, no one knew what Minecraft was.
Mm-hmm.
And then now Minecraft is ubiquitous. Like it's everywhere. And
toy shelves, the Lego sets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
every store you go to, the merchandise, everything.
I think we're at that point with Star Citizen where we're on that teetering point of where people are starting to take notice of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're still not to the point where like people are like, oh yeah, Star Citizen, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm in a major city in Chicago. Our what it was called a bar citizen wasn't even that full. I mean, we had like 10 people. I mean, if there was more people that know about it, we would have a real full bar citizen. This is a major city that doesn't know. But I could walk outside and ask 10 people; they'd probably all say, "I never heard of Star Citizen."
The San Francisco Bay, as I say, the San Francisco Bay Area one that is actually pretty well organized. We have maybe 20 people who show up, and that's even with like Toast showing up every once in a while.
We had one around PAX, and how many were there? Like maybe 30, 35 people at most.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because everyone was in town.
Yeah, a lot of gamers are already in town.
Yeah,
exactly.
So DJ was there, Baron was there, like people were there because we were in town. But even with PAX, it was like 30 people maybe.
Yeah, I think Blizzard had some type of meetup, a bar meetup. Think how packed that would be. We're not even nowhere near close to that. So there's gonna be some time.
You need like a stadium for a Blizzard meetup.
Some of these cities, oh my gosh.
It's called BlizzCon.
It's called BlizzCon.
But actually, that teetering point that you're talking about there, Jake, I honestly think that's probably going to be 3.0. When there's a universe there actually is a universe to explore.
Yeah, and there's a game.
And there's a game, yeah. The game loop is actually complete. You have cargo, you can sell things. Yeah. You can go do missions.
Basic loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, if you're getting in right now, you're getting a better point than when I did. 1.0 wasn't that much. You get in now, you got quite a few things to keep you busy for right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great, but with 3.0, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to be had. Like right now, 2.0. Let's be honest. There's like 4 hours of content at most that's repeatable. Like Arena Commander Racing. The PU has some interesting stuff, but like there's like an hour of missions maybe, and then you've got maybe you can do an hour or so of Grimhex or
I like the
I-
troll off Grim Hex, so I get a lot of fun out of that, to be honest. So
I'm still
Hats
kind of
off.
curious, though. I'm still kind of curious about Squadron 42 for next year. I'm just wondering if anybody's like you said, not many people know in Star Citizen. I wonder how many people is going to put 2 and 2 together. Oh, here's because Squadron 42 is going to go like more mainstream when they market it and whatever.
Like at the end of Squadron 42, I guarantee you they say, "You want to know more? Star Citizen, bam!" And you're
Do you want
doing
to
it,
keep
so it's
playing
like that.
your character that you just made?
Yeah,
They'll
main
also
we'll be not putting it against Andromeda.
no, yeah, they got.
You do not put that game against Mass Effect. Even though I think Squadron 42 is probably gonna be better than Mass Effect because I don't really trust EA. I just think if you put it against that, it's gonna get slaughtered by the general audience who don't have shit know anything about Squadron 42 Star.
And I might get crucified for saying this, but if this game is ready and it's ready at the same time as Mass Effect Andromeda, delay the game. Because
delay the shit out of it.
Yeah, because
marketing
there's no point in going head to head with Mass Effect Andromeda because we saw what happened with Titanfall. Titanfall is I think is a better game overall.
Yeah, it was a good game.
I love the campaign.
Than Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Call of Duty Infinite Warfare
and
campaign
Battlefield.
is really
It's a
good.
deep franchise.
Whoa, now ain't it better than Battlefield 1 now? Whoa.
And
the last thing,
Battlefield.
Well, no, I think it's probably one of the best shooters that's released in a long time.
It is my favorite shooter since the original Halo.
Yeah, and I think I agree. I would agree
How?
with that.
I don't understand how. I mean,
I like Battlefield.
the
but
mechanics on Battlefield 1. This the only.
Have you played Titanfall, Geo?
Yes, I played the free weekend and it's garbage. It feels like the first one. But actually with Battlefield 1, the mechanics and the graphics, it actually feels like a real next-gen shooter. The rest of these feel like some old bullshit games that it's just been the same.
And to answer chat, we're not comparing Mass Effect with Squadron 42 because you shouldn't really compare.
Absolutely not.
No,
However,
it's releasing a movie the same weekend as Star Wars.
Yeah, no,
you don't do it.
Like Wing Commander.
I was just gonna say before, like the last thing CIG needs to do for their first game release is to pit it against something huge.
Yeah,
they need a weekend or even a week or even a month when there's nothing else close.
a June release would be a fantastic idea.
May
Just in the middle of the middle of nowhere. Find somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
They'll probably release it when it's ready, but from a buying cycle perspective, there's a reason why we struggle so much as content creators in the summer.
Yeah,
because it's again going back to the other entertainment industry, which is movies. There's an up and a down for when people buy and when you release stuff, and the summer is always the slump.
Yeah, but it's always before the summer, right before the summer. There's been more of a trend now where there's some medium titles which are releasing before the summer, so they can beat out some of the larger ones in the fall, and they do pretty well. I mean,
there are a few major exceptions to that, though. The Last of Us released in June. Overwatch released in May. Red Dead Redemption released in May. I worked at GameStop. I remember a lot.
You used to be a manager at GameStop, didn't you?
Yeah.
By the way,
stupid to drop all games in the holiday. I never understood that because, especially with EA, I mean, why would you put your major game Battlefield against Titanfall? Just save Titanfall.
It's because they want to punch Call of Duty in the nose. That's what they wanted to do. And
they're killing it. Let Battlefield do it because Battlefield got a lot of juice right now.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's not the same game type, and that's the thing. This is a good example. Titanfall 2 is a fantastic game. It's an amazing game, and I think
love the campaign.
This free weekend that's going on right now is doing a very good job of increasing the numbers and the audience and everything. And I think they did exactly what they wanted to do, which was slow the Call of Duty train a little bit. And the problem was both of them did. I think they sacrificed Titanfall in order to.
And then Call of Duty was already shooting themselves in the foot because people. Yep. I mean, even the diehards like this shit is garbage. So people are looking for other games to play, but still, I'd just let Battlefield do its. I would let Battlefield do its thing, and then I would have released that maybe sometime next year in that drought era, like you guys were saying, that April, May, and let them get a feel on Titanfall 2, and then you probably could have made it 3 because right now it's looking like it's not going to be a 3. When EA gives you free DLC, that is not good. Because if they're not charging for it, they're giving you the free DLC. Like, please come play this because we're giving you free DLC and we need more people, blah, blah, blah. That's why it's free. There's no season pass. That's the reason.
The reason why they did it is because the season pass split the last community up pretty badly. Is the reason why, and also because
that's with any game.
I'm sure they went to Respawn and they said we're gonna throw you to the wolves. We're gonna throw you right against Call of Duty. You're gonna get hurt badly. But so we'll give you some leeway we'll pay you a little extra money to do this because it's a marketing strategy. But to respond to Skeptic Dork, the problem is that marketing wise, people only have $60. And if they know about Mass Effect and they hear about Squadron 42, they're going to go with Mass Effect. It's the same problem as a new IP versus a well-known IP. If you're releasing a new Star Wars movie versus a brand new IP space movie,
You're gonna get murdered.
You're gonna get murdered.
We literally had this conversation with David because he's like, I probably won't go see Rogue One because I just spent money to go see Doctor Strange and Fantastic Beasts. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, you're dumb, but I understand.
So people have only a certain amount of money, and if CIG does this
time
right,
too though, it's not even money, it's just like time, like. If there's two releases right now, if Squadron 42 and Mass Effect come out right now, and I still probably want to play Mass Effect, but I'm not. There's no way I'm going to buy both those and say, all right, I'm going to try to beat both. I'm going to beat one, then get the other one later on down the road to wait for a sale. And then if there's any indication,
you lose the impact.
Exactly, you lose that impact. And if there's any indication, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the Golden Joystick Awards. Fucking Zelda beat out Star Citizen and fucking Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, that should be a small indication that
member berries. It's the member berries. It's the nostalgia. It's the established franchises. That's what happens.
People who know what it is too, because not a lot of people know what Star Citizen is.
As we just talked about earlier.
Let people nibble on that fucking Mass Effect, and then later on down the road they're gonna beat that. They're gonna say, "Damn, I wish there was another space game out." Boom. Yeah, it was another sci-fi game that looks 10
Call of
times
Duty
better
though.
than Andromeda.
On Call of Duty, the Call of Duty campaign
for
this new Infinite Warfare, amazing.
Yeah,
I am still
shout out to my boy Ethan.
Trash.
Ethan, you mean BT? It's Call of Duty's BT.
I like Ethan.
Yeah. When we did a full playthrough of that, I sort of mentioned this, but I am strongly the opinion that if there is anybody who is excited for Squadron 42 owes it to themselves to play through the Infinite Warfare campaign.
100%
multiplayer aside.
Geo.
Uh-oh.
Get that garbage out of here. Oh god.
Geo, maybe you should play it before you like Mass Effect or like Elite Dangerous. You should actually play it before you start laughing at it.
He will. My brother will vouch for me. I tried it out at his house just to give it a try on his Xbox.
The campaign?
Yes, I tried the campaign because I knew I already played the beta already. I want to try the campaign, and it's the same gallery bullshit. It just it may seem a little cooler because it's on space.
It opens on Europa
into the Europa's atmosphere. I think it was Europa, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Europa.
Yeah, onto the ice, and there's like Jupiter in the background, and like the interior of the spaceships. The art was so incredible. All the environments were so amazing. It's on rails, sure, like every Call of Duty.
Set pieces, the Michael Bay in space. That's all it is.
Let me ask you, Baron, if I liked Titanfall 2 campaign, then I would like this one, the Call of Duty.
Absolutely. It is for me. It has set the bar for Squadron High.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, because I haven't purchased the new Call of Duty because I was waiting to hear some more feedback on it because I played the original Titanfall 1 and the campaign was just like not existent, and then I think what really sold me on Titanfall 2 was the kinship you had with your robot. It felt like your buddy. You actually felt for him, especially in the. I'm not going to give anything away, but
like you have that kind of relationship.
You have a robot friend in Call of Duty too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, then I want to play it. Then
he's a different kind of robot. He's an old Southern draw.
He's more of a bender relationship rather than
he's Tars from
he's absolutely Tars.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I'll give it a try. Then I haven't bought it yet, so I'll give it a try. Then.
Now
Space Combat is Star Fox.
Go ahead.
Circling back to Squadron 42, the other why it's so important about the release date for this, for the people who are more interested in Star Citizen, maybe people are only interested in Star Citizen. CIG has an incredible opportunity here to, we keep talking about the funding, and they make about $35 million a year. They have a chance to make that in a week. they could secure the funding for this game for the next 5 years in a week if they have a good launch. It's that important. If they get if they can sell 1 million copies, if they can figure out a way to sell 1 million copies of Squadron 42, they're set. They're golden.
Yep, and it helps the game out a lot too.
Yeah,
Hugely.
When people ask about, what are the other funds you guys going to get? That's one of them, Squadron 42. When people ask about how they're going to get other money, so you don't want to put it against the Slaughterhouse. You don't.
No.
And plus, when they'll be, after they're done and it does really well, they'll say, well, guess what? There's 2 more episodes already written for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All they got to do is mocap and everything. And this is securing the funding to get all the actors back and everything else. So, yeah, definitely, I think. And plus,
like the tech and the mechanics, they're already there.
Yeah.
So they just have to write more stories.
Oh,
it'll be easier.
A bigger
it'll be faster.
studio too.
Yeah, but also a lot of people will be like, okay, this isn't, Mass Effect all over again. They're continuing this on story that we've been pulled into these characters, and now we get to see what happens on the next one. I think if it's a compelling story with these actors, and I think that's what's so key. A lot of people chastise them about the actors, but the actors is what's going to be the main encompassing draw to this game, because people are going to relate to them. People are going to be passionate about the story and going to say, I want to see what happens in the next, if the admiral, dies or something, and you want to see who wins or whatever. I'm just saying shit out my ass, but I'm just saying you're going to be compelled to want to play the next episode to continue the story if it's that good.
Yeah.
Just like Mass Effect and all 3 of those.
Mass Effect is really near and dear to my heart. It's probably my favorite game series of all time. If Squadron 42 and Mass Effect came out at the same time, as much as I love Star Citizen and Squadron 42, I would have a very difficult time choosing.
No, that's fair.
Which to play first. I will own them both, obviously. I own Squadron 42 right now. I own like 4 copies of Squadron 42 right now.
Moving on, though, because we are running out of time, so I do want to talk about it.
Let's move on.
This conversation does need to be had, and it's important that the community has it and understands that like Squadron 42's release date is important beyond just its
the original.
Incredibly important.
It's beyond just it's done, release it. Because for us who are hardcore fans, we want to see it as soon as possible. Give it to us. We want it. But if they release it at a bad time, if they release it against another killer title, it's going to cause problems. So moving on to we're going to move into the question and answer phase. So how this works is you guys ask us questions, me, Baron, Gio, Nakara, Clifford, Jake, individually or as a group. And we can answer it. We're not CIG devs, so we can't answer any official CIG questions. However,
it depends which magazine you ask.
Yeah.
Jake can in the car because they're shills.
Oh yeah, they are CIG. Yeah.
So
we've been
we
quoted
caught you.
as CIG several times.
There you go.
But we can't answer official CIG questions. But it's not going to stop us from pretending that we can answer CIG questions. Actually, I think the only person who's been paid or sort of paid to be with CIG is Baron. So in this conversation,
they paid for my flight.
In your hotel, right? Something like that.
No, I wasn't broadcasting that week. I paid.
Oh.
Wrecked.
So. Feel free to ask it. Don't ask stupid questions, because if you ask stupid questions, you're going to get stupid answers. I'm going to tell Jake to answer all your stupid questions with his most ridiculous responses. And don't ask when questions, because we don't know. We'll give you dates.
I know when. I know everything.
If you say, when is 2.6 coming out?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's already out.
That was nice.
Nice. Fuck it, man.
Open up your launcher.
Open up your launcher. It's right there.
It's right there.
Woo!
Alrighty. So, and if you guys have any questions themselves, exclamation point question, exclamation point questions, and exclamation point question mark in chat. We'll let you get to that link to answer that.
I just looked at view count. My goodness, there are a lot of you today.
Yeah.
Look at all you people.
All of you.
Beautiful.
Holy shit.
Beautiful.
Holy shit.
Now, all of you ask a question.
Every single one of you will be here for till midnight. God. Next question comes from Human Evil. He asks, will you guys have a lock-in when Star Citizen is finished? I mean, 3.0 will probably have a lot. Well, he's asking about the pub. A pub lock-in where you, lock the doors in a pub and you just don't leave until for like 24 hours. So it's the original 24-hour like celebration. We just get drunk for 24 hours.
Yeah, I will be.
Yeah, I think all of us will be.
I may do that for Squadron 42.
Well, I might do it for 3.0. Who knows?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, depending how fun 3.0 is, which isn't kind of we called it. It wasn't coming out this year. Everyone else was believing.
Well,
Me and Astropub called it.
I mean, not Jake. Eris still believes. He still believes.
He'll always believe, man.
He has a picture. He has a picture of 3.0 on a poster. It says, "I want to believe." You know,
Black and white picture on his wall.
He'll believe right up until those
Midnight,
last
December
30 seconds
31st.
before midnight on December 31st, and it's coming.
Yep.
all right. Next question comes from Jim, the instance manager.
Jim!
You're not doing your job, Jim. I'm sorry we're distracting you. Thoughts on NPCs and Tony Z's plan to have a whole slew of unique background dialogue? Feasible, not feasible, or meh?
I mean, subsistence. What? How you say it?
Subsumption?
Subsumption.
I always call it subsistence, and it's wrong.
Subsumption.
That's a Metal Gear game.
It's an expanded version of what many games have done already. So yes, it's possible.
Mhm.
I mean, the assumption on itself is a label that doesn't really mean a whole lot. It is the AI system, and yes, it's very complex, but yeah, it's totally feasible.
It's think of it as kind of like an extension of what Skyrim and or the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series do already, to a degree.
Especially in a single player game, it's definitely not only possible but been done.
Mhm.
Like go play The Witcher 3 and you'll see it.
Yeah.
Yep.
However, the truly revolutionary thing that is what he's working on is he's taking that AI system and putting it in a massively multiplayer game.
Yep.
And I think,
Actually, I gotta tell you that when I think about Star Citizen's Living World, I honestly think more about with The Witcher than any other game because they did it. Very few games have ever pulled it off. One of the things that went through my mind playing The Witcher 3 is this is a living world. It feels like that. There are people wandering through fields and doing shit, and the
not
whole
everyone
world
is waiting for you to like breathe.
Westworld.
exactly.
Well, it also wasn't online too. With
Confirmed. Squadron 4 Star Citizen is going to be Westworld.
Oh
That
yeah,
doesn't
no.
sound like
I mean,
anything to me.
actually doing it online is going to be that much more difficult. But that was when I think about
They're kind
the
of right though.
world. That's where it's at.
They're kind of right though. The first couple episodes of Westworld is kind of a really good example of how that AI would work.
Yeah, it is actually with different quest chains and branching story options and interactions and collisions and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I think it's a little more advanced than that, but yeah.
Yes.
I did like how he mentioned with the quest givers how you may be going to some henchmen and they'll tell you like, oh, he's not available right now, so people don't just fucking cluster fuck the door trying to get a quest, or they'll have to go to one of the kiosks.
Oh my god, that first night of the Division. Oh my god, the queuing simulator.
I remember in fucking Black Desert, I paid a little money to get a few days ahead of everybody, and then once they came, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not getting none of these quests done now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. I just hope he said they're not going to be able to get it all because it's impossible to. You're gonna have to wait on some quests or something, or people are gonna be all around. But he said they're gonna try to eliminate a lot of it. So
Yeah.
that's a start.
One of the things that one of the ways they're going to control it, they were talking about is through like in-universe limits to traffic. So like there are only so many landing pads at a space station. There are only so many, they're basically looking at ways that they can in-universe control the way people flow through the game.
I can see people waiting outside of the planet for a landing pad, and here comes that reclaimer just chewing on all these ships. And then
no!
What are all these pieces?
What's
for?
gonna happen is you're gonna have like a shantytown show up. It's like, no, you can't land here, but because Star Citizen you can land anywhere. It's just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna park it in the overflow lot over here in the corner. I'm gonna make my own landing pad.
It's gonna be an overflow lot.
Yeah, like people just gonna land like next to the landing zone and walk to the landing zone. That's what's gonna happen.
They're definitely going to have some security down there.
But
There's gonna be like little like tailgate parties outside of Microhacks where everyone's like bundled up, like cooking burgers, waiting to get into the queue to get in line.
but basically, they're trying to find the balance between people waiting in line for a quest giver and instancing them out completely. They need to find something in the middle that works, and I'm not smart enough to know what that is.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. That's why I just hope they look at all the games that did it wrong and make sure they don't go about it like that way, like you said on the Division. Because if that happens, people are gonna be fucking like, oh fuck it, I'll come back in a few days or something.
Where one dude is like literally AFKing in front of the screen and refusing to like go, so he can troll the entire line.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
All right, next question. Moving on. Human Evil asks, which one of you guys will buy me a Prowler?
Baron.
I don't have money. I
Baron's
play video
the
games
richest
for a
guy on
minimum
here.
wage. What do you want from me?
Jake will, because Jake has 4.
How about Cliffy?
No, I only have one.
No, Cliffy has 10 of every ship, so I'm pretty sure he has one to spare for
only
you.
have 2 prowlers.
I'm sorry, Miku Noah.
Miku Noah. Noah Star Citizen.
2 of every ship, baby.
The guy with 5 Idre.
Yeah.
Idrai is
He has almost
right.
one for every day of the week,
Well, I got to fly one of the javelins one of the days too, and one of the Polaris.
Jabs.
Human Evil 51 again asks, at Geo, so now Hello Games have their awesome Foundation update. Will you say sorry and admit you were wrong about No Man's Sky?
He knows he's trolling me right now.
He is.
Yes, that game is very garbage, and I'm mad that the courts ruled them for not false advertising because they fucking lied to us. I don't care what that court says. Someone got paid under the table for that bullshit.
I'm on the opposite spectrum. I totally think opposite of Geo. This is one I will conflict with him on.
Oh no, Cliffy, how?
I'm in the middle.
I think it's not all their fault. If they were, they needed to drag Sony's little ass in there too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now that too, yes. Now, I will say that Sony is definitely part of Sony's fault. Sony tried to act like, oh, they shouldn't have gave the game like that. I can't believe they did that. You assholes know exactly what you did.
We're going to move on because this is not a No Man's Sky podcast.
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Next question comes from Zeus Anoxia. He asks, will Relay, ever report on the contents of CIG leaks or unofficial sources?
So that's an interesting question. So what
So like the subreddit has a rule
are...
where they don't if it leaks they don't care. Like they'll let leaks posted. They'll be they don't have. Will you guys also?
Our policy has always been to not post leaks.
Okay, so there's your answer.
But
we never posted news before though. So
we're probably going to revisit this.
I'm not sure.
I don't think we have an answer right now.
No, we don't have a.
We need another Mando leak. I know that. That'd be real nice.
Leak all of Squadron 42.
What gets me about the leakers is not only are you ruining it for everybody else because if people leak it, then they'll just pull the entire program. You're not doing anybody a favor, and you are breaking a legally binding agreement that you enter into. They are out of the goodness of their hearts not pressing charges against anybody who's doing that, but you actually have to give them your ID. It's super easy for them to figure out who it is.
Mm-hmm. All you do is backtrace your IP or figure out, because I'm sure there's information in those videos and pictures.
Well, I mean, I'm under 9 proxies. Okay, they're not going to backtrace me through the interwebs. but these, I don't know who they think they're helping. I think they feel like they're white knighting. They feel like they're doing something solid for the community, but really they're just kind of being dicks.
Yeah.
I feel very, very strongly about this.
Yeah,
I
agree.
You and Aaron are totally on the same page about that one.
I'm not gonna lie, that Lando leak one really gave me a better outline of what CIG was doing and how far ahead they was. It made me real comfortable. I was like,
that was a little different though. That was kind of like an accidental leak, and they found it when someone who has the information is intentionally releasing it rather than someone finding it because someone messed up or there's some security holes. Because the one thing that Lando leak did say is that, hey, you've got security problems, fix them. And they did. And,
to be fair, it was not Lando at all. He was not really involved in the process.
It wasn't his fault. It was, it had a lot to do with a lot of different things, which again helped secure those leaks. Like they were talking about the one that was like a year ago.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Gman618. I wanted to get everyone's opinion on the ATV RTV discussion of the new Afterburner idle or the replacement of cruise model. All of the flight models changes in 2.6 seem awesome, but this seems to be a bit jarring for a space sim. The idea of consuming fuel to maintain cruise
Lando
speeds,
says, someone mentioned Lando Leak. Your melt all my ships is super effective.
I think they're
my
balancing
ships.
out that because people are forgetting that you also have fuel scoops in some of those ships that will scoop up
can't-
fuel.
I can't really comment on it until I get my hands on it.
I'm kind of the same. I want to fly.
Yeah, I'm talking in in the end game, like what they've talked about ahead of schedule, that some ships will be equipped to bring in fuel while they're going across the star system. So if you're happen to boost a lot, it probably won't replenish it like really quickly, but you will always be taking fuel, so to speak, new fuel to your
As
ship.
long as we're not space jousting, I'll be happy.
Plus,
I got tired of doing this.
Plus, it gives Starfarers a chance to, hey, I got a job now. I can come out there and fuel y'all.
Boost fuel also regenerates after a certain amount of time. It's quantum fuel that we need the other fuel. But no, well, I think we more have to see it implemented for us to make more comments on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I need to play.
Right, Baron?
Yeah.
All right, next question comes.
I'm of the opinion that it's all pie in the sky until I see it.
Yeah.
Like that's just I passionately love Star Citizen and it is literally my job to do Star Citizen, and I'm like a wing commander at this point, so like I'm invested in the process, but I'm really standoffish with hype in general.
It's good to mitigate. It's always good to mitigate hype, personal hype. It's like it's okay. Like Eris was going, I believe that 3.0 is going to be released. That's fine, so long as you have the understanding that it may not, and don't get your
I
hopes
like
up.
having a realist mentality about it, because then that's how you won't get your your hope and hype shot down. Like at Citizen Con, everyone's hype level was way up here, and you see what happened. How everyone felt disappointed.
Keep it on the level of a 50-50 chance. That's a 50-50. Either they'll come up, because you never know. A blocker will drop out of the sky before you know it, and it will shot their whole thing, and then they'll have to fix it. So it's just they're constantly breaking and fixing things. So that's why it's a crapshoot.
I agree, but that one was Chris's fault. I rarely come out and say, "Hey, Chris, you screwed up," but Chris screwed up. He should not have said 2 weeks beforehand that they were going to show Squadron 42. That was a mistake.
I think part of the frustration is that we keep getting the reason that I like that update thing that we're getting now, and that it needs to persist. But part of the problem is we keep hearing Chris say, "All right, I get in trouble when I give you dates. We're not going to do dates anymore. But let's talk about this feature, which is coming out in a month."
Yeah.
And that doesn't work out very hard. We
got the schedule now, so there's nothing but dates on that schedule. So here you go.
Multiple times that's happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be it'd be funny. Okay, Chris, your job now here is to stand on stage, and Sandy's going to talk for you and say what needs to be said, and you're just going to stand here and look pretty.
Well, and I think that Baron is right, though, in terms of the schedule thing, is that the schedule specifically mitigates that problem, because Chris will say something, and then we look at the schedule and say, this is what he's talking about, or it's not on the schedule, so he's talking about something much further in the future.
Yeah.
It helps us. More information is a good thing for the community, because it helps community members self-regulate. It also helps the community understand, like, it's complicated. This is not what's being made in terms of the planetary landings. It's not in 2.6, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just not on a schedule in terms of trying to mitigate, putting everything together to make what we will call 3.0 yet.
Just bless Chris's passionate heart. Poor guy. he just can't help it.
All right,
so excited.
Next question. We'll go around the room. Do you have
Can I make
to
a
say
comment
something?
real quick?
Go for it.
Sergeant Jokic said that the fact that Cersei is a group of avocado and we have backers that are paying thousands of dollars for ships is an insult to all of us. No, we have seen at this point that the community cannot handle it when the game is crashing constantly. 2.0 was a freaking disaster. It was an absolute. Can I curse on here? It was a shit show because it was crashing every minute. For the first few days, and then after like a week, it was stable for 5 minutes at a time, and then it progressively got better. That's the reason Avocado exists, because when they put that out, that's the first thing the news sites see as well. And then the news sites say, hey, look at this garbage update that they just pushed that can't run for a minute at a time. So they need a wider testing base to have it, to work out those bugs so that does not repeat itself. Otherwise, that's going to happen every single time. That is the purpose of Epicati, not to deny people, but to make sure that they have a polished group before they show it to the news.
Too.
Yeah, and the reason why they have the NDA is specifically because they don't want that to be released, because all the stuff that goes into Evocati gets changed before live. That's the purpose of Evocati. It's designed to find bugs and change it and help fix the games before it releases everybody else. And
because they don't even.
Yeah, and the only people who are Evocati are just really insane people who play the game too much and are already proven that they have the ability to report bugs. That's what it is.
2.5. He said 2.5 is a disaster. I don't know about that one. I mean, it's playable. 2.0. I remember watching streams, me playing. I mean, you couldn't get anywhere without getting cut off. I mean, I understand they got the frame rate issue, and sometimes it runs like shit if too many people are on. I understand that, but it's way more the playable state than 2.0 was when it kept shutting down and messing up on everybody. I'll take that any day of the week. That actually feels like an alpha. Okay, we need to fix this, that. The animations on the guns are messed up. Okay, it feels more alpha-like compared to 2.0. That was just some unplayable bullshit at the time when it came out.
No, I agree. I completely agree, Gio. Like that was ridiculous. Like you'd literally get into the game and you'd start counting to see how long you could keep the game running for.
Oh yeah.
A lot of times it was like 30 or 40 seconds.
I remember
we all had crash counters and timers up when we were playing that. It was
I remember both you and Baron's crash counters.
Yeah. But I mean, 2.5. I mean, it feels like an alpha build of a game, which it is. The thing the reason that a lot of people feel like it's worse than it is because it's been depreciated for like 3 or 4 months now, and we've had 0 updates on it. So
I played a lot of 2.5 when it first came out. Actually, it was the first time I'd played a lot of Star Citizen in quite a while. But it just not a lot to do. So
2.6
I played a lot of. I played a whole bunch of it for a while, and then I was like, well, I'm kind of done for now. 2.6 will have tons of gameplay, and then 3.0 will have a mountain of gameplay.
I won't go that far. I think 2.6 will increase the amount of gameplay we have with the addition of the stuff that they're adding, but I don't think it's going to be the thing. It'll just be a nice tide over until 3.0 comes out.
I agree. I agree with that.
Probably after a couple of months, it'll get really, really, really like 2.5 is, and so it depends on when 3.0 is released.
Yeah, I'm really out in the woods with 3.0. I have no idea when to expect it. Like some people are like, well, it's almost done, and then other people are like, well, no, they haven't even started. So
I don't think we're gonna get it before June.
Yeah, I agree.
Be...
May or June is what we're gonna see it, just because
for 3.0.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think what was the date that you said, Jake? It was like
January.
Was it January? No, I think
when I was. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, or are you talking about Squadron 42?
No.
Or
Squadron 42. We talked about Squadron 42 dates. That was what we were talking about.
That's May.
Yes.
Yeah. When I talked to Eris about the 3.0, I'm still.
It's not official, by the way. That was just our guesses.
Yeah. My guesstimation has been about. I'm going to say at the latest, maybe March. For me,
I think the earliest we'll see it is March, just because there's a lot of work to do and
and
stuff like that, and there's going to be more testing than there would be.
So I have an interesting question here. Do you guys mean live or Evocati?
Evocati. Live. What I told Eris, I think it will hit Evocati maybe at the end of the year or in January. But then from there, it's probably going to go through a month of testing. I'm thinking
it's going to need a long time.
To bake in the
testing.
oven,
yeah. It's going to need a lot of testing. It's just so much.
Moving on to the next question. We're going to go around in a circle. We'll start with Gio and then move around back counterclockwise. This question is, what non-combat activities in Star Citizen are you excited for?
I would probably say farming. I love farming so much. Ever since I played in Arcade, watching my plants and making sure I took them out before they got old and trading them and packaging them. I just had so much fun doing that. I never thought I would in a video game ever. So
it's very similar. I had a lot of fun in farming, and Life is Feudal. It's the same similar concept where you watch and you have to put manure on the plants to make sure they grow, like fertilizer to make sure they grow better, and
you play Farming Simulator 2017. Then that's pretty good.
Nakara?
For me, it's always been exploration. It's always what I've been interested in, and I cannot freaking wait to get out there. This game I think is going to do exploration better than it's ever been done before, and that's all thanks to the 64-bit deal. Their plans for exploration that they've actually talked about already sound great. I mean, I think it's going to be really cool to be that. I mean, it might not happen very often, but if you actually find something that no one else has found, that's going to be such a hugely rewarding experience. I'm really excited for that.
Awesome. All right, Clifford.
I'm gonna have to go with my buddy Ben. I'm really hyped on the scientific portion of it. You know, the science ship, the Endeavor, everything that it stands for. Which that can leak over into the growing of stuff and research and of engineering stuff. I think that's my engineering side coming out. I definitely like that side of the star system.
Baron.
I want to push a Benny's machine out of orbit into the atmosphere and free fall with it and skydive.
You want to have the
that would be
hat
fucking
right
cool.
What's his name?
Pegasus Bill or whatever.
Yeah, but I want to synchronize Benny's machines as on the fall, so
Benny's from the gods.
You get like a whole bunch of like skydivers holding hands and stuff as they're falling. You can do that with grabby hands, just with Benny's. I think
that sounds amazing.
I could see him doing like a Benny's commercial in the verse as his character. I think that would be kind of funny.
Someone recorded in the Reliant.
Benny's coming in hot now with new spicy flavors. Yeah.
Benny's is my favorite vending machine in the Citadel.
Jake, how about you?
Never knows.
So other than ship collecting, which I mean I'm already doing.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm really looking forward to the economy in Star Citizen. I think being able to like me and my friend Josh from real life, our biggest joy in life is actually gaming the World of Warcraft auction house.
Makes sense.
We've especially when new things come out and we're able to just completely corner a market. And
aren't they specifically trying to design it so you can't do that though?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. We'll find a way. I'm looking forward to finding really cool ways to like work around an economy in order to make money.
Well, I mean, they even said you can corner the market on like small, like in a landing zone,
yeah,
or
and
like in a system or something like that, possibly.
Even things like not even just that, but like basically figuring out how the Star Citizen economy works.
You know what?
That's
why
what I do.
Why am I feeling that you're going to be in cahoots with some pirates to cut off some supplies routes to corner market on materials?
He is going to be in cahoots.
Nakar, could you turn your volume
No
down a little
comment.
bit because I think you're echoing.
No comment.
No comment.
That's what's really going to be interesting about the economy of Star Citizen is about people being able to cut supply lines, and then that totally
that's going to change
the
everything.
dynamic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and yeah, that would be like a second for me because, like I said, when I see supplies get cut off from my factory, we're stopped. We're not producing any cars, so it's gonna be interesting to see because that's like with snowstorms and stuff. The trucks can't make it, traffic accidents, whatever. But in game, you're gonna have pirates, stopping that flow come out, and that may make ships' price go up in price, and we could see how that turns out. So yeah, that would be real fun to see how the economy turns out with that.
My big thing is I want to open a space bar. I want to be able to serve drinks. That's what I'm waiting for. And honestly, what I'm really waiting for is not necessarily the combat, but the emergent gameplay where people interact with each other in those quiet moments. That's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about.
You're gonna have a traveling bar, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be an abandoned merchantman, so it'll be flying around. It'll be a roach coach.
Oh man, I was gonna ask you to come serve on my 890.
I can do that still. I'll try to. Yeah. But no, but like there was a movement or like kind of a video in DayZ called The Wiggles, which is a very, very long time ago, where these guys randomly happened upon a bunch of people in like an old ruin in the DayZ standalone, and they were like worshiping a wall with like the payday masks, and they were like really creepy, but it was like a cult, and the whole video went viral.
You gotta have walls.
You do, but it was this video that went out viral, and people started doing like paying homage to the Wiggles because they got murdered at the end of the video. To going to the wall in game and like recreating the video, and that's the kind of things that I want to see in Star Citizen. Like the Benny's challenge is a good example of that, where people just start doing things because they want to, because the community decides it's a cool thing, and seeing those things emerge, the interactions with people, like lingo that'll develop within Star Citizen, how people greet each other, how people talk to each other. That's what's going to be the interesting.
Remember when Test made the Transformer?
So
with the penis.
Yeah.
So I just had this vision of coming around the far side of a moon in your ship and seeing a pyramid on the surface made out of Benny's machines.
Yes.
That will happen.
That will happen.
Secret stash.
I have a quick question. Since you guys mentioned exploring, what did you guys think about Tony's answer to the little Tiger Woods golf swing meter thing for the small ships? That's going to be a thing for the smaller ships, and the big ships are going to have a different mechanic. What did you guys think about that?
That makes sense.
Yeah. With
Yeah,
something
but
with
what's-
more
what's that related to?
scanning.
The scan. It was the meter. Remember the meter? Everyone was pissed off about it. It was like, "Oh, it's a Tiger. What's golf swing? What is that?"
So what, you got to like hit it within like a certain like.
Yeah,
range,
yeah. It's like you
Yeah.
hold on to it and it comes up, then it bounces back. You have to like
It was
stop it at a certain point.
I hate those
Overly
things.
simple. Yeah.
Well, I'd rather have that than someone just press the button and it just automatically scans. I mean, I would like to hear someone's other opinions on how that could change, because like I said, on the bigger ships, they said they're working on something different with that. But like I said, with the smaller
it's
by
even-
yourself,
This
Did you
is
guys
even
ever
more.
play the Arkham series?
No.
Anybody play the Arkham series?
Batman.
Played a little bit of it.
Yes, I have. Yes.
So there's a mechanic to blow up electronics where you have both thumbsticks and you kind of rotate them around until you like hit a particular frequency, and you just have to line it up like you basically have to move one in one direction and move another in another direction until the frequency lines up, and you use like auditory clues to see if it
That sounds
That
cool.
What about the
as
keyboard guys though?
advanced as, like
That's
Skyrim lockpicking though,
Yeah.
where I mean,
controller.
Yeah, I mean something for like a basic scanning system for like a more like for like a big ship like a Carrack or a Freelancer Dur or something with like a scanning suite or a Herald, something like that. They should obviously make that more complex, like if it's a dedicated station.
No,
Yeah, 'cause-
honestly, my big opinion is my big opinion. I don't know. My opinion is that anything that can be done, everything should be able to be done with a push of a button. However, the push button mechanic should take longer than your average player mechanics. So if you had a system where it was complicated, but if you had a single seater ship, you could just stop and just kind of work on it. It would take a minute rather than if you pushed a button, it would take like 2 or 3 minutes. And the time,
Like the reload mechanic in Gears.
yeah, that same
Well,
concept.
Well, that makes me think about same mechanics that Life is Feudal is utilizing with their deal, which is pretty neat actually, where you have a click of the button to do it regularly, or if you do the mini game, you have a better chance of getting more loot from it or a bigger object from it. And then you got a third thing where other players can help you out, but that's something totally different. But just, having two different types of mechanic.
Yeah.
You can push the button, scan, but it won't yield you a bigger reward. But if you play with it a little bit, you get a bigger reward of whatever you're scanning for out there.
And you can still do that the golf swing mechanic where it's like it'll scan no matter what, but as you're coming back, if you hit it at the right moment, it hits the right frequency, because as you go through once, it'll be like, oh, these are all the pings. If you want to know which of these pings are, you have to hit it at the right moment. And you can hit it at that right moment, and it'll bring up the information on your screen much quicker. Stuff like that. It's something that anyone can do without any skill, but if you have skill, it becomes better. Because I think that's generally how they've been kind of developing Star Citizen.
Because at the end of the day, they want to bring as many people into Star Citizen as they can, and they can't make it too overcomplicated.
Yeah, there's already a lot of managing by yourself in single fighter ships.
Yeah,
So keep
absolutely.
that in mind. You don't want to overcomplicate something when you're already doing shields and this, that, and the other.
And that's probably one of the
Compared to
number
bigger
one
ships.
complaints about people have is that the UI is so complicated and so messy right now that it's really hard
It's going to get more complicated too, probably, if they go the DCS route.
So, go ahead.
Eve has an incredible scanning system. I think Eve is not a game for most players. But I am sort of, as a general rule of thumb, is against the unnecessary gamification of things that 2-year-olds can do.
Mhm.
I don't like, if you're gonna do it, find a way to innovate it in some way. Like I think the only reason why I like it in Gears of War is because you're constantly having to do it under a combat scenario, which makes it a little bit stressful. But there's so many scenarios where you have the little like bounce slider where it's just like, all right, if I take my time, I can do this every single time.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it should be that simple in a fighter class ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea that if you just let it go, it'll do it automatically and there's no point to it. But if you're in a situation where you're getting fighting, you have to like figure out what's going on. You want to have to like hit it really quickly so you can scan the next enemy or something like that. Then it becomes.
But if you're in like a constellation where you're sitting at a table and that is your job to do that thing, then
Definitely more difficult.
Yeah.
So when are
you're not
you
flying,
using?
you're just at that station.
When are you using the scanning then? Because you just sort of described targeting.
that was what how they were talking about with scanning, not just targeting, but also like being able to notice new targets coming in and
or like
like active,
or like if you're on a prospector maybe.
Oh yeah, there's going to be all sorts of
You're in a
scanning
single
mechanics.
You're in a single man ship and you need to scan an asteroid to see if it's worth mining.
Okay.
So you might be able to find more materials if you hit at the right moment, but it would take you more time.
And also, like in an Orion, it would have a dedicated station for that.
Yep.
So like it changes.
Oh man, it's got those. I'll never forget. It's got those RMAP missiles. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah,
The scanner operator fires missiles into
the missiles.
asteroid. Yeah.
Next person asks, it's Bellic. He asks, do you guys think that when 3.0 hits, we'll be able to turn off ship's engines in atmosphere and fall like a brick? If so, will it be easy to stabilize you with turning back engines or take more?
That's literally what you wanted to test, right, Baron?
Yeah, well, that was asked actually earlier when I had my segment on Relays thing earlier today. And if the gravity is properly implemented, you should with atmospheric flight. There's no reason why it shouldn't. If it's not, then the only reason you couldn't is if gravity is not in yet.
Yeah.
No, and you should be able to glide if you have ships with the right, drag and stuff like that, mechanics. But we don't want this to turn into like super realistic flight sim, because then it locks off access for a lot of people.
Oh yeah,
You still want it to be difficult. You just don't want it to be 1-to-1, because like the Aurora is never flying in atmosphere. The ship is not designed for atmosphere unless it's got ridiculous amounts of thrust on it.
Well, they can hand wave him something for it, I'm sure. But.
Yeah. Next question comes from Zeus and Oxia. How do you think Star Citizen will handle mature content, as in relationships, gore, drugs? Relationships, gore, and drugs. I mean,
well, we already got a good dose of that on the Drake commercial. Everyone yelled sexism.
That was not sexism. That was totally Drake. It was a
parody
commercial.
of
it was a car show.
Though.
It was a car show. I mean, come on.
Anybody who actually stepped out the fucking troll hole and actually went out once in a while to go to a car event, you would see that, like, not at the auto show per se, but I went to like some of the import car shows and they have like beautiful looking Japanese women in bikini and all kinds of stuff like that. I mean, that's what goes on when they show these cars. So I don't understand.
Gamescom has that shit.
Yeah,
all kinds of conventions.
That was what it was. The controversy was supposed to be that they even wrote about it, was supposed to be a parody of the E3 controversies of people bringing booth babes when they're told not to bring booth babes. It's and I think that's what Star Citizen is going to do when it deals with gore and relationships and drugs and such. They're just gonna show it because that's what builds a universe is like. There are drug addicts, there are drug dealers in the real world. You don't live in a nice clean environment where like the most rundown station in the universe doesn't have any drugs. you know, or you know.
I'm
dude
just
sleeping in a corner.
wondering.
my safe space.
Yeah.
Well, here's one issue that would probably come up, and it's a very likely scenario because you can own slaves in sell slaves in Star Citizen. Well, what if you catch a black man character and you solely sell him as a slave? That might end up being a controversy
Oh,
topic.
it's coming.
That's
Online
I'm just
interactions are
saying-
not rated by the ESRB.
At some point, though, I mean, at what point do we take the political correctness too far?
Yeah.
Because I mean, slavery is in a lot of sci-fi universes. It is part
in
of
the Legion,
Star Citizen,
you know?
but in the real world, it also
In Star
extends
Wars.
way further than the American version.
Yeah.
It goes way back as a phenomenon. It exists
All
today.
kinds of races, not even only black people. I mean,
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that I think at the end of the day, games and science fiction have always used actual real life events to bring attention to them.
Yep.
You know, and to talk about them in a way that's more safe, because if it's in distant future in some foreign land or an alien, then no one cares. But if it's you know, in America in the 1960s, then it becomes a problem. So that's part of the appeal of it. And I think
The only
honestly,
thing that I
think
think
they
is
should pull
going to
punches.
change. The only thing that I think is going to change is I don't think they'll use real world drugs.
No, they'll make up.
in Star Citizen, just so they can sell it in certain countries.
They already have
That doesn't
one
mean
drug, which is like
yet.
weed essentially, but it's like
I think it's called Color.
yeah.
Yeah.
Onion head.
I also want to see how the strip clubs are going to be. If they're going to be like they are in, you know, Grand Theft Auto, because it's been in Grand Theft Auto, and you know, no one threw a little pissy fest on that and yelled sexism. People been thing's been in the top 10 selling for like what? How many years?
There were
Maybe
strip
4
clubs.
years?
There were strip clubs in Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
I mean,
I don't think it was
gonna
on the extent of GTA though.
Now there's
not
a
quite,
difference
but still.
between displaying adult or mature content and allowing people to participate in mature content. Like I don't think there should be prostitutes that you can just go around and hire in the universe just because it's unnecessary.
I need it on my 890, buddy.
It's unnecessary, and B, it's unless it adds to the universe, there's no point to it. Like
That's what the roleplay orgs are for.
That's what
Well,
the
yeah.
roleplay are.
People can say that with the drugs though too.
Well,
The other
that's
thing I
the thing
want
is
to point
that
out is there's the there's also, we already have concept art of the Pulse bar on Cassell, which you can see the strippers in the concept
Pulse.
art. It's
That's it.
going to be there. Yeah, it's the Pulse bar.
so. So
you know-
And the gambling, I came with the gambling comes.
And the fact that they're not selling this in stores means that they really don't need an ESRB rating, because the only reason why you need an ESRB rating is if you're going to be selling it a hard copy in Walmart, which is actually one of the U.S.'s leading game
It
selling.
doesn't even have to have a rating to be on Steam.
Nope.
Yeah, they can actually. I thought about that with gambling. They can't really put any real stuff that you gamble with, because if you get addicted, I guess there's some lawsuit stuff or different ratings that go on. So they would have to make up their own gambling game in there.
No, you can.
I don't think.
you can-
I don't think there will be gambling directly, because as long as they keep the design that they are going to sell UEC for real money. If you are allowed to gamble that in the game directly,
Oh
there's a
shit!
problem.
Yeah, no,
that
they
crosses
were-
some
I
laws.
didn't even think about that. That's bullshit.
they've been talking about that for a while, and they know that they have a problem with that coming up, because they're kind of screwed if they're selling credits.
So yeah, we'll see how that works. It may be one of those situations where they're going to have to choose
thank you,
money
Jim.
over lore or lore over money.
Mhm.
All right, next question comes from: do you think we'll see Star Citizen or Squadron 42 on shelves in brick or mortar stores at some point?
No.
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 Unless they do a console port, which would probably be 2 or 3 years after the original release, and even that would be
The peasantry version.
Even still, I could see them doing a Squadron 42 console release and not putting it in stores.
yeah, still doing
I
it
can-
download only. Mhm.
Well, yeah, the Scorpion's coming out next year. That'd probably be the closest console that could probably push this game.
It
Well,
could
Squadron 42 at
probably
least.
run an optimized version of Squadron 42.
However, just so people are aware, if they do sell it on consoles, it must be rated by the ESRB.
Yeah. So
That'd be
Squad
smart.
42 is different. Squad 42 is
Mando
different.
said
though.
no
No,
gambling.
there is a
just
possibility,
confirmed.
however, that if you want a boxed version, they sold boxed versions for the original pre-orders. There are some people who have packages that are
right.
physical packages.
I've got one.
If there is a surplus of those, they may decide that when we bring it back to the store again. But I would not expect that. That's just a slim possibility.
Yeah,
I
but
would-
they weren't selling them in brick and mortar stores. They'll sell them online.
Yeah.
yeah, no. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about in a box.
Yeah, they'll be done through their store.
Yep.
Jim asks thoughts on food in game, or the idea seems to be coming up again on the forums. Nothing would please me more than seeing someone find an epic place in the planet, then I kill them from starvation.
If farming exists, shouldn't food?
I don't think for players. This is not No Man's Sky. This is not a survival game. You shouldn't have food except for maybe NPCs. It might be a way to mitigate people having NPC armies on their ships so that they.
Then
can
what are toilets for? Why do we have toilets?
They're for
No,
immersion, Baron.
Immersion.
I'm of two minds. I could see.
I'm up for food buffs.
Food
Yeah.
buffs. Mm.
See, I'm with you on that one, Cliff. Like, say you can maybe take a little more hits if you eat, or something like that. I don't know, because it needs to serve a purpose.
That'd be a purpose for drugs. Like you can move faster because you're.
But see, now
doing
that one needs
drugs.
to have some side effects on it, though. Too.
You
though.
move slower when you're not doing drugs.
Yeah, like blurry vision or something.
Like
You get
Fallout?
drunk or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they could do something with food to where you could it'd be something minute, but they could put something like that in there.
Hell, it could give you buffs. There's some like illegal chemicals in the game that could give you buffs, and those buffs could be in the sense of, hey, I've got a little bit less weapon recoil, maybe a little bit less sway when I
Yeah.
hold.
Yeah,
this.
Or a
Now
little
I'm
bit
like
more
super
stamina.
Steady.
steady.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Um,
You can sprint a little bit longer.
I mean, there's things that they could do along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know Astropub would definitely want, if you drink something, you get all those swirly lines in
Yeah, I
front
mean,
of you
we
and
already-
everything
we
goes
already-
wobbly.
we
That
already
is
kind of have
confirmed.
that,
Yeah.
and that is
Oh,
confirmed.
we actually have that. Yeah.
So it's just
So-
a matter of actually drinking now. Is the
Yeah,
issue.
and you know what? And they might just throw it in there for color for, where you can actually eat something, but it doesn't really give you anything, but it's something for the RPers. So they can sit there and act like they're having a meal when they're RPing with their friend.
Yeah.
And actually, it puts them in the moment, And I think I could see them doing that and not really give you anything for it. It's just something to do.
Yeah.
And also something for you to just, spend little credits here and there to buy and
At the very least, you should be able to eat.
Yeah.
yeah.
You should be able
Whether
to,
or not
but
that does something.
I'm
Well,
buying
the
my
mocap
big
animation's
banana.
already in the game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some people are going to want to be cooks too on the ship. That's going to be like the job for that they're going to want to
that'd be
have.
great.
So
That'd be so
Having-
awesome to be cook.
Have you guys played Overcooked?
No, I haven't.
Is that the VR game?
We are way into over speculation though.
Yes,
so
let's-
let's go next.
Let's move on to the next one.
But that's
All right.
okay.
We've never over speculated before.
The Smoking
boy.
Gun asks, to all captains, do you think the Star Citizen community has still room to grow, or do you think most of sci-fi enthusiasts are already bored?
Oh.
We already answered that. It's wait
Go.
Absolutely.
to the roof. We're
Yeah.
bottom basement numbers in terms of the gaming
Yeah.
community.
This is a baby fledgling community.
Yeah.
Not only that, we actually got some numbers at a CIG last year that indicated only about half of the citizens are actually backers.
Mhm.
So we got like 800,000 people right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's at least a couple million left in us.
When it goes to the large content creators, when it goes to the big YouTubers, when it goes to the big streamers, and those guys cover it, they're gonna have an explosion.
Oh yeah, some of them already been doing some of the big streamers and YouTubers. Like
Yeah,
Level Cap got a
Yeah.
couple videos.
They've been tapping their feet in the water. Wait
Oh,
until
yeah.
like you see Tangent go play the game for a week, or Co-Carnage play for a week, or
Yeah, and you need a game first to show them. Right
Yeah.
now, there's nothing to
Yeah.
show.
That's why I'm kind of glad they're not
it's-
touching it too much yet.
Yeah, that's,
242 playthrough.
yeah,
that's why. Yeah, that's why Tangent has been really intimate and telling me, "Hey, Cliff, I'll do a week of it, when there's something new, but then after that, I'll let it lie." So, because he's real passionate, he is a very passionate space enthusiast.
Oh, I
But he
mean,
said,
I've talked
yeah.
with Tangent about it. He's
Yeah.
already like, what's the meta? Let me see the meta. Let me see the
yeah,
numbers.
he's all
Yeah.
about that
See,
RP and meta,
you
and
guys-
he's a really good guy.
He's
He
gonna
really
join
is.
us for those BNG multi streams. That's gonna be fun.
You
Yes,
guys just
yeah,
said it
that's
too.
awesome.
Like when they stream, that goes back to the marketing. When there's the Squadron 42 comes out and it's available to stream, if that goes against Mass Effect, guess which one they're going to pick over the
Mass
stream?
Effect.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the other problem. I was
Easily.
going to
Exactly.
mention that earlier, but I didn't want to like continue that road.
Yeah.
Next
It's gonna get
question.
washed out.
Next question comes from Jim, the instance manager. We'll go for rapid fire for these questions because we're kind of over time at this point. Do you plan to visit every system in game? I promise I won't intentionally blow up your ship in the middle of your journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. I'll try at some point.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm definitely trying to. Yes.
Hey.
Thanks, Lord. Oh,
Yeah.
Considering
Baron has to
we're
worry about that those cracks in his windshield, though.
Achievements.
cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, as
I'm
long as
definitely
we're
gonna
in
try.
it, as long as we're in it, like while they're building out those systems, like we're gonna see them probably one at a time or a couple at a time. Absolutely, I'm going to go to all of them when they come out.
Next question comes from Jim again. X85 was sold versus the X85 concept art.
Yeah.
Same thing. I mean, it wasn't that different. It's sexy now. It's just super sexy and bright.
It's
I like the
sassy.
I like the color better on the concept though.
It's
The
sassy.
colors can change though. You know, they've already showed that.
That's true.
I think they did a really nice job. It's beautiful.
Next question. CIG is very adamant about no robot AI for lore reasons in the UEE, but do you think there will actually be a robot AI that some other race is experimenting with and could acquire? Maybe. I mean, it's a story plot line.
I hope there'll be eventually a sentient race. I'm hoping.
I think they'll probably. I think it's something that's going to, raise its ugly head at some point in the lore. I think they've set up too much of like an anti-AI thing for it not to come up at some point.
It's just like the fact that they told us about the first colonization effort
Yeah.
already. It's like you've already talked. It's the rule of if there's a gun in Act 1, it's got to be used by Act 3. That's a kind of a writing rule, and when it comes to that sort of thing. So if they're bringing it up now, it's gonna happen in the universe. We're gonna see something about it. So for or against doesn't matter.
This is again pure speculation.
Yes.
so-
Yeah.
Yes.
so we
Pure
have no way of
speculation.
knowing.
This
It's
is
not confirmed.
No
confirmed.
way.
This is confirmed by
Confirmed.
CIG. Go. No.
See, Lando's in the chat.
Lando's in the chat. Yeah, so it's totally
Yeah.
confirmed. I'm totally not going to lose all my ships for saying that.
Concerned.
He's already melted mine.
Yeah, mine
I
got
can,
meant.
I can
yeah,
say
mine
anything
too.
now.
You said mine did too for Lando leak. So
Next question comes from Netis Tiez. When is 2.6 coming out? It's already out. It's
out.
tomorrow.
Open your launcher.
Not right now. Next question comes from Space Age Hero. Jake and Nakara. What in-game tech would be great to have newscasters? Have as newscasters? Perhaps something not shown off yet. Like, what would be something you need for like being an in-game newscaster?
The Tana. But on top of that, if they are able to take that technology and make a handheld version,
Yeah.
A camera.
A drone, a flying drone camera
Yep.
would be nice.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
a mini version of the Reliant van.
I mean, it exists in real life now, and it has tactical applications for military use. There's no reason why it couldn't exist in the game. And it would
Actually,
make content creators' lives a lot
I would be
easier.
You know what really-
surprised. I'd be
you know what
surprised
really-
if we don't see it in Star Marine. If we don't see a drone in Star Marine that you can fly around and use as spying on enemies or something like that.
You know what would really help is a cloaking device.
Not gonna
A
happen.
lot.
So you can be sneaky.
I want to sit in the middle of a gigantic battle and not have anyone know I'm there and just like pan around, film.
Yeah, because someone's gonna grief you guys when you're trying to get some footage.
Oh, yeah.
For the news, they're gonna say, "Oh, yo, get those fuckers over there."
Next
Yep.
question comes from Zamagula. What's your thoughts on the Aurora and 300 rework? What do you expect from it? Sexy and shiny. I mean,
Yep.
probably we're not going to see much of a change. It's just going to be like looks better.
Um,
I actually think the internals of the 300 are going to change because there's a lot of wasted space.
yeah, but I think
There is
that's
a ton of wasted faith.
but I mean, like in terms of the lines and the style.
No,
like, you're
no,
gonna
not
see
the
it.
style.
It's,
I don't think it's
it's
gonna
not a
change whole
cutlass
lot.
rework. It's not a it's not a.
I mean, even then, the cutlass rework, it still looks like a cutlass.
Yeah, it does like an upgraded version. I just
Got
It's
that
just-
booty in the back.
He's like he always told me. He's bringing it up to baller status.
to baller status. I love it.
That's what he said. That's what he said when he ever designs his. I love that guy to death. He's like, when me and Chris design these ships, it's going to be fucking baller, and that's what he says every time, baller. So
Baller. It's
he-
it's
yeah,
his that's his
No.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Gargoyd. Do you anticipate ship bloating for older ship concepts yet to be developed, like the Banu Merchantman? Yeah, some ships
yeah.
are just going to bloat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, they have
For newer concepts, I
don't
fully
think-
expect the Terrapin and the Prospector to get bigger. Like, I think they're underestimating the size of what's gonna take.
I don't think that people understand that. Like the reason these ships get bigger is that they actually put them into the game and they try and use them, and then they're like, yeah, no. We need this, we need that, we need this to be bigger, we need that to be bigger.
However, we see just
especially
as many ships stay the same size, like the Herald.
Yeah.
I would almost 100% expect the merchantman to get bigger though, because it was so early that it was created, and because it's such a huge cargo ship, it'll get bigger.
It's still severely underpriced, I think, compared to.
Oh, yeah.
You could argue that the newer ships are overpriced, but there's a huge discrepancy between similar ships in class that are newer.
It was real easy to get to those ships. I think those should have been a certain amount they should have gave because of the lore of it. It's like one of those sacred ships that get passed down. It's like not
but because it's
regular ass ship that you can buy.
Yeah, but it's because it's passed down, and because there are like literally billions of Banu. There's probably like a couple billion out there, or someone's like, yeah, I need a new Banu merchantman. This thing sucks. It's like it's been around generations for 700 years, and it's out of date, and I have no money, or it's cost me more money to update it than to buy a new one. Let's just buy a new one. You know.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Diablos. With the new barstool animations, will Brian Chambers have his own barstool? He has to have his own barstool. Because if you sit on his barstool, he will come to your home and he will beat you. That is what Brian Chambers has told us on the Astropub before. Is that if you sit in his barstool in game, he will find you and he will kick you.
Yeah, that Viking guy needs his own chair. He could drink all that beer himself.
Why would you ask us that? What's wrong with you?
Hey, Derek asks, what will cause more delays, network code or subsumption?
Network.
Yes.
Network code.
Yeah.
Network code always is the problem in games.
Yeah. It's part black magic, part it's part black magic, part luck, part skill. That's what it is.
You know, this is totally off the rails for just a second.
Let's try not going off the rails. We're already over time.
And 100% reason to remember the name?
No. The entire reason that Rocket League is such a good game is because it has good networking.
Exactly. And the reason why Battlefield 4 was so bad is because the networking sucked so long.
Next question comes from Mike Alpha Tango Tango. When, if CIG gets around to reworking the Aurora, what do you? Okay, we already talked about that. Mammon Lore asks, with the asteroids now being procedurally generated, requiring no client synchronization, do you think this means voxel asteroids are out? Mining non-voxel asteroids is acceptable in lots of other games. How important do you think the voxel tech is? I think Disco Lando has said himself about CIG that they reserve the right to choose the better option. And if voxel technology is not the better option, then they'll go with the better option. So,
have they actually said that because they're doing procedural, they can't do voxel?
I don't think so. I mean, like,
It's just,
Space
it's just
Engineers
different means to an ends.
I don't necessarily think that them doing procedural means that voxel.
You can also do both.
Space
Yeah.
Engineers
You can
does
get
that.
the same result without necessarily using the voxel technology.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to see. We still have mining is still a ways out.
Mining is 3 patches away, guys.
It's this time next
some
year.
time.
Like about this time next year is what we're
Sure
looking
it
at.
is, Jake.
at least.
Yeah. at the very earliest, it's this time next year. So we'll see. And again, completely off the cuff. We're not CIG developers. Confirmed.
Nope.
Might as well throw a dart at a dartboard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at darts.
I Am Dumb asks, what WTF is a mega map, and what is what's it called in the CIG schedule thingy? So the idea is that right now it's hard to jump between Arena Commander and the Universe and Area 18. The mega map unifies all 3 of those things together, so you can just jump from them fairly easily without having to load screens. So if you're in
Mega
Arena
map
Commander and you
It's
want
an arbitrary name because programmers enjoy arbitrary names.
No, I mean it's specifically when a map digivolves.
yeah, it is.
Yes.
Then it becomes a mega map.
You guys see what Lando said? Procedural and voxel are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Minecraft, guys?
Yeah. Procedure
And voxel. It's right there.
I mean, using a space example, Space Engineers does the same thing. They
Yeah.
procedure generate their asteroids with voxel, technology and mining.
I gotta say, I'd
but-
love to carve a hole right through an asteroid in Star Citizen.
You should play a game called Astroneer.
Astroneer, I will do that.
You can literally just dig through a planet.
I want to get that game. That looks so fun.
Yeah, that was so neat to talk about that.
I played it at PAX. It was fun.
Next question comes from Martin Miggs. Why can't I put the Gatling gun from the Merlin on anything else other than the weapon slot? Because it's designed specifically for the Merlin. You can't move
I've got
it.
that thing.
It's like the
I
nose
think
gun.
that's basically the only answer we need.
It's like the nose gun on
It's
the
Tiger Strike.
Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
concept. Next question comes from Netist. I am concerned that the ability
boy.
to quantum jump everywhere and use jump points will discourage space trucking without long distances of subflight. I feel like
Why?
cargo. No, I mean there's going to be routes that people will take. It'll be the most
have
efficient
to-
routes.
It'll operate on a basic level very similar to how it operates in Elite already, or in, for that matter, Eve.
Yeah, there are going to be routes that people will take because it's the fastest route that's the most efficient on their fuel.
In
You
order,
still have to go from jump point to jump point.
Mhm.
You know, and
yeah,
travel.
in order to use quantum, you need a point of reference.
And you can pull people out of quantum.
Yep.
And you can go
Really?
you can go in whatever direction you want to go, but that's going to be more expensive for you. So yeah, you won't have to go on the space lane, so you may not get stopped by space cops.
Yeah.
But,
The other
You know.
thing that
Also-
people need to keep in mind is that they've already said that they're talking about jump points moving around and being unstable and becoming unstable and changing because they want them to be this like living chain, evolving.
and new jump
like an
points
organ-
being found even in well-established systems, that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what makes the Carrack and the Endeavor module. Those
Yeah.
radars define those spots. That's what makes them,
It's the reason why the
Career
ICC
people-
exists in lore.
People also forget that right now we're quantum jumping between very small
Oh, and
distances.
those distances are going to get
Oh.
bigger in 3.0. You can get
Relatively-
those-
Incredibly small.
Like
Yeah.
the moons are actually not in the final place they're going to be. Expect much further distances in the near future.
Well, and
It's
not
not
only
like
that,
four.
but they're already talking like
Even
they
just to
they
the
have
next
final
planet.
they have final systems and they're looking at 40 minutes to go the entire breadth of the system at quantum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one's going to ever
Like-
go from one point to the other point on
No,
that.
no, I'm
Don't
just
ever say
saying.
never.
I'm
just
Don't ever say never.
I'm just trying
There's
to say,
there's no
like
reason to other
it's
than
not
to
like
do it.
it's not like it's small or that it's not going to take very long. These things. This space is big, and it's big in Star Citizen too.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have different routes. Like some people are gonna have time to make that long ass trade where they could get the big payout and go further, or you're gonna have those small trade routes where people only have, a couple hours out the day to go back and forth to make that money that way instead of take the long journey. So as long as you got those options there for people, I don't see what the problem is.
Agreed.
Next question comes from Kinshadow. With the discussion on RTV about crews using some fuel even when you're changing speeds, are you annoyed about it breaking the physics believability or excited about the additional complexity it adds to ships, making fuel capacity more important?
There's been a lot of physics breaking already.
Yeah, this game is not one-to-one.
This is not.
This is
the
not Kerbal
battle.
Space Program, I think it's exciting just for more complexity. The more reason to use fuel, the more reason to stop and fuel up. That means the more
Yep.
breaking.
My immersion.
The more
Starfarer pilots are really happy.
well, and-
Yep.
it adds gameplay because
Mm-hmm.
you have to stop. That means people know that you have to stop, so there's going to be added risk to stop for fuel.
Refueling depots out in space.
it also adds another money sink to
Yep.
the game, so it makes more people spend more money on an average basis, which increases the cost, which requires people to plan their routes out more and slow down.
It
a
also
little bit.
adds an entire second profession.
Yep.
To sell fuel.
Yep, I'm gonna make a lot of money in my stuff.
And I mean, that was a concern because we knew that the Starfarer was going to be able to do it, but for a while there, it looked like why would anyone even bother?
Next question comes from Get in My Belly. What patch that we know of do you think will have the biggest impact on the public knowledge of the game increasing from 3.0 to 4.0? I think we actually talked about 3.0. Probably is the
3.0,
biggest.
absolutely.
Yeah, 3.0 will be the big deal there.
The only potential problem is if 3.0 is not stable.
or if it's not complete, if 3.0 releases without all its features, but that's probably not going to happen because they're not doing the whole we're going to release come hell or high water. It's kind of we're going to release when it's got the features we want in it.
Yeah, 'cause
Without
after that, you're
fail,
just-
when they release an update, it's always got more features than they previously announced.
Yep.
It takes a long time, but it usually is overpacked. Right
I'm
now.
pretty sure there's things in 2.6 that we don't know about yet.
Because 3.0
Well, I
that
mean,
leaves the groundwork for everything. After
they-
that, they're just building on top of that, fleshing out the universe
it's already
after
in the
that.
schedule. In the schedule, they talk about the Grimhex bar. which we didn't know about that
Yeah.
Grim Hex was getting added. We knew it at a bar. We didn't know it was getting added in 2.6. Now it's being added in 2.6. You know?
Yeah, I didn't know we were gonna get all these ships either.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's the other thing. Like we were talking to Ben earlier, and there's gonna be like 7 ships or something in 2.6.
Damn.
Yeah. Or
It's a
8
lot.
ships. 8 ships. The 85X,
There you
the Caterpillar, the Hoplite, and the
Harold?
Herald are the four main like variants that we've never seen. And then the 4 new variants, the Comet and Wildfire and all that kind of stuff.
8 ships.
Next question comes from Penguin Lord. He asks, Clifford, what do I have to do to get some of those capital ships from you?
Steal them.
I don't know. Play with me in game like everybody else will be
There we
doing.
go.
We'll have fun.
Go play with them.
Ooh,
Stuart GT asks, should CIG keep Evocati PTU patch notes behind NDA? It doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
Because they don't know what will work and what won't, and what they'll get rid of or what they'll postpone.
And they
so-
essentially they've essentially told us what they're working on in their schedule. So I don't think we need to know more information. Next question comes from Get in My Belly. Do you think they might do an NDA for PTU 3.0 to allow more people to play? No, they'll just they'll add more.
Avocado.
They'll add more Evocati is what they'll do if they need to.
If it runs like shit.
That Korean gamer asks, do you think after 3.0 finally hits, the time between builds would decrease? No.
Nope.
Nope.
Last print.
They're adding game mechanics.
Yeah. Last Pint 508 asks, what control inputs do y'all use? We'll go around starting with Jake and move around, but I use keyboard and HOTAS. Baron?
I use keyboard and mouse. I want to get a joystick eventually, but I'm waiting.
Baron?
Hang on, I'm trying to.
It's stuff.
Do you still use? I
Let's
thought you
see
used dual T16,000s.
He's got a lot in his toolbox.
I use these,
Yeah.
and I've got some flight pedals too, and Track IR.
CIG, please, track IR.
Yeah,
CIG,
track
please.
IR. Yes, please. More track IR.
Both.
Clifford, what do you use?
Right now, I'm just using mouse and keyboard because it's easier to jump in, fly the ship, jump out in FPS mode, and all that kind of stuff. In the current build that we have at 2.5. So it's that's my go-to right now. I'll concentrate more on HOTAS when we get, probably 3.0.
Nakara?
I'm exactly the same as Clifford. I'm keyboard and mouse simply because jumping back and forth between FPS and flight.
I mean, I got HOTAS and stuff. It's just too cumbersome to bring it back and forth out.
Alrighty. Geo.
Unfortunately, mouse keyboard. I hate flying with mouse keyboard. Feels abysmal. But it's so hard to hook up my pedals and my HOTAS right now. So I'm just waiting for that stuff to get figured out. Until then, I got to use this keyboard because using the controller feels like all these controls. It feels like fucking Arma. So I just stick with using the keyboard.
Alrighty. Next question comes from Skeptic Dork. I haven't heard anything concrete from Chris Roberts on how they're going to combine combat gold farmers. I think this is an issue that can really hurt the gaming community and should be addressed. Do you think gold farmers are going to be a problem in game?
They're going to be selling
it.
currency on their website.
Yeah, that's how they're combining it.
It solves it for the most part.
I mean, it's not
have them.
It's not a catch-all problem, but I don't think that selling UAC is going to be a good thing in the long run. But
it solves it to the point where the impact that gold farmers would have on the game is minimal.
And I think at the end of the day, the discussion about gold farming needs to be had, but not now. We're still
We're ages away from that.
We don't even know. Like, there may be reasons down the line why it's not a problem at all.
Yeah,
it's almost impossible to even comment on at this point.
Next question comes from Smoking Gun. What would you think of a basic communication tool to interact with random NPCs, non-story relevant NPCs, like quick access to greeting emotes or little small talk dialogues? I think greeting emotes, having NPCs react to greeting emotes is something that's been in games since GTA 4. So sure, why not? I mean,
yeah.
I love trolling NPCs. So that's the first thing I do in any game. I like to see the consequences of what they do. So NPCs are so important to me in this game.
Next question comes from I Hang Big Dong. He asks, where do you think the update passes on the Origin 300 series will take them? Would you want to see it more tailored towards speed up as a luxurious single-seater? Or as a luxurious single-seater? I think
luxury. I like it more geared for luxury. I think it needs to be a more luxury ship line.
Porque no los
all
dos.
again.
It's a BMW and an Acura. You get a lot of performance and a lot of luxury at that price point.
And that's the other thing is that fuel efficiency. I think you'll see a lot more fuel efficiency from people like Origin compared to other ships, because that will be one of those selling points that would be able to stick. Is that, why would I want to buy a 325A when I've got a Gladius? It's because the Gladius makes you stop and fuel up every 5 minutes, whereas the 325A can go for like 4 systems without a refuel.
I imagine that being the Aurora.
That too, yeah.
The Honda Civic of Star Citizen.
Yeah, it is the Honda Civic Star Citizen.
It's more like a Ford Fiesta of Star Citizen.
Well, fair enough.
To be fair, because RSI is Ford. It is Ford.
But- Bumper stickers.
The 1992 Honda Civic of Star Citizen.
Yep, bumper stickers everywhere. As I love my RSI.
Next question comes from Listen to Me. If the basic scenario is like the Roman Empire, what adversary is driving the Vanduul into human space? Could be a humongous fleet of AI terraformers that were originally built by humans that have been... okay, that's a lot. I'm not going to go through that. But I think that is a...
Hunger.
That is a legitimate... There is a legitimate case for there being something bigger out there that's pushing the Vanduul towards us.
The Reapers.
The Reapers, yes. Confirmed. Well, we don't know. Well, I think it's a good idea, but we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, no, it's obviously the Borg.
It's the Borg.
Yes.
I would be
So
scared.
happy.
It's the Hunnians race, because
What I would be is I would be very, very scared of whatever's pushing the Vanduul into our space.
Yeah, that's the
I would
idea.
be.
I have ideas.
it's fluffy. Next question comes from @Miku. What part of you're part of Imperium? What does that org do or stand for exactly? A big organization.
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah, it's asking you.
Huge.
About Imperium. Yeah.
I'm not in Imperium.
Oh,
Never have been.
then we don't know. You'll have to ask Imperium.
I've had invitations to join Imperium because of Twerk and a lot of the other people that know me over there, but I've never accepted. I never took the affiliate from them. So no, I'm not a part of Imperium right now.
All right, we're going to end on this question, and then we'll move on. We'll rehost Relay and get those guys ready to go. So what we'll do is we'll probably idle. We'll still be broadcasting, and then once Relay goes live, we'll drop the host over to them. But this is the last question. Comes from @Jake. I think it's supposed to be asking Jake, how is Relay going?
Pretty freaking well. Thanks to all of you guys.
You guys hit 500 Twitter followers just in the middle of this cast.
We hit both 500 Twitter and Twitch followers in the middle of this cast. So thank you all so much. It's incredible. I haven't looked at YouTube. There's nothing on our YouTube right now. So if you follow that, awesome. But even more than that, and like, this is insane. We are about to hit the $350 per month goal on Patreon, and that's nuts, guys.
Yeah, it really. Thank you so much.
We're at 343 right now. That is higher than we ever were on INN.
Shots for everything I mentioned.
So yeah. But I mean, like, you guys are nuts. It's awesome. We launched the site today, so like, we're happy to be back. We love this brand a whole lot, and like I said earlier, like, if since I'm now talking to a different audience, kind of the biggest thing that I'm doing with Relay is I want to involve the community a lot more. So if anybody in the community is doing anything cool where you see anything cool, tag me on Twitter, send me a message on Reddit, do anything to get my attention. I want to see it. I want to put it on Relay. I want to share it with everyone.
I want to ask you, I had a question about Relay. Is Relay expanding its base onto, like, say, Astroneer and other space games? Will y'all be expanding?
Not initially.
Okay, not initially.
We don't have any plans to cover any other video games right now.
Okay.
We're actually kind of going the other direction because we had considered delving into a bit more general gaming, but we decided at the end that really what we wanted to do was Star Citizen. We might expand back out later, but we really want to build our base better.
I know that feel.
Yeah.
You guys are getting incredible support.
It's Relay nice of you guys. So
Oh, geez.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Ben Lesnick would have so much fun right now.
See, you missed that earlier, Jake. Nakara actually used that joke earlier. He used that pun earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, from everyone here at the Astropub, I want to thank everyone from all the guests who came on for Relay for the host. And before we go, we'll draw this winner. Whoever wins, I want you to say something, exactly something in chat. If you say anything else, I will not give it to you. You have to say something.
He will ban you. You'll be banned permanently from this channel.
Good luck to everyone who entered, and the winner is Wahir, longtime supporter, with 20 tickets.
Rigged.
20 tickets. Congratulations. Say something in chat, Wahir. Say something in chat. If you say something in chat. Oh, re-roll. Okay. All right, cool. We're re-rolling.
Damn, bruh.
Martin Miggs, congratulations, with 10 tickets in chat. Congratulations.
Double rigged.
You have won. Say something in chat. Something in chat. Wait for it, Martin.
Let's all do it horribly out of sync.
Say something in chat, Martin. If you don't do it in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to move on.
He said what?
Dead,
He said what? He has to say something.
Come on, say something.
You won, Jim.
This chat's bad at this game.
They are bad at this game.
Martin Mix, say
Ours
something.
is just as bad.
We failed like 4 times.
Martin, I'm
to give
going to
away
re-roll.
a copy of Doom.
Don't do it. All right, I'm re-rolling. There he goes.
Oh,
Right,
son,
about to do it.
They got it.
Something.
Something. Okay, it's close enough.
Should we
It's
give it
close
to
enough.
him?
That's close enough.
Disco, hope I win.
This is actually Lando's bot. He keeps in the chat, so it's going to be.
Lando won, guys. There you go.
Martin Miggs, send me an email down below. You'll see the astropub@gmail.com. Send me that email, and I will send you your very own Drake Dragonfly. It is the space bike that everyone. I am a passionate zealot for the Dragonfly, so I love to give it away and help people out. Because it's you will worship the Dragonfly. You will fly it. It is life. It is love.
Is anybody worried about the yellow jacket after you've seen that color scheme? Because it's not that limited no more since you could just change the Dragonfly yellow now.
Well, it's maybe the Dragonfly's yellow, or the yellow jacket's got its own kind of skin to it. So it'd be a unique skin. You know,
kind of lost its value now.
Man, it's cool. It's yellow. I don't care.
like yellow.
Alrighty, so again, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thank you for the cast for coming up, and for you guys watching. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you can always catch us live. It's 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. GMT at the Astropub, twitch.tv/the Astropub. And if you're listening to this on Podbean, you can do the same, or you can even catch it on YouTube if you want to see who the hell is talking into your ears.
Podbean sounds like
you don't really want to see that, though.
No one wants to see me. I have a face for radio and a voice for television.
Podbean sounds like a very hipster,
or a voice for science. It is a hipster, but it's very accessible by everyone on your phones. So, alrighty. Anyways, thank you guys for showing up. Like I say every night, hope to see you guys again soon. But if we don't, hope to see you someday in the black. Enjoy more Relay.sc.
Oh. Goodbye.